There we go. Cool.
Okay.
There we go.
Now we're muted. I can't.
We have him. We already have his cam set up too. We are good to go.
Look.
There we go. Sick.
So
Those are the 4 studs right there.
damn.
Look at these stats, bro. Look at these stats.
Lightsaber, bro.
I literally charged
Let's
lightsaber just for
go.
the stream. I had a full.
Watch what you're saying. I have
I don't
I
have.
got a Fortnite gun.
I have a Sekiro Shadows Die Twice tiny sword. If that's anything, it's a letter opener.
We come prepared.
Yo.
Oh, he's gonna bring out the big
Hey,
guns.
thank you for the raid.
Oh, you're welcome, homie. You know I fucking saved it just for you, bro.
Lord of the Rings. It's here.
Right there, boys.
It's
Okay,
here.
and look, bro. Look what I got, Payne.
What do you got? What's that? Is that a fucking? Oh shit! It's the One Ring, the royal ball, bro.
Damn, let me find out. Let me find out.
Alright, bro. Is that you proposing to me, Pale? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm precious,
I'm
dude.
flattered, bro. I'm flattered.
Those were those bicep curls last night, bro.
You heard it
Bro,
here
I had
first.
to do it, man. I had to do it. I had to get you to do it.
All right, so welcome everybody from PainInTheAxe with the Carry host. Today we are doing another podcast. It's been a while since we've actually had our last one. We're gonna briefly go over and summarize the patch notes. We're gonna talk about PvP in general. We're gonna talk about the current meta. We're gonna talk about small scale, large scale, and all of the above. So again, thank you, PainInTheAxe, for the raid. And I guess
Anytime, brother.
want everybody to kind of introduce themselves. These amazing content creators I have with me today are PainInTheAxe, Kirimoto, and Pale Orc. So Pain, everybody already knows you, but if you want to give a brief description about yourself, my good man, your main class, etc.
Okay. All right, so yeah, my name is PainInTheAxe in game. You can call me Craig or whatever is my real name. I don't give a shit. I play at Mad DK. I've been playing it for 6 years. So I started this game back in 2014 in the beta days, right? And I've made this Mad DK ever since the dawn of the game, and I've stuck with it through like fucking thick and thin when it was OP as shit, with the whole battle roar and like the dynamic ult gen. Those were glory days, right? When we had to reflect all the projectiles and everything. And I've also stuck through the dark days when they constantly nerf us almost every patch. And it's just my favorite playstyle, man. Like literally the brawler fucking mag playstyle is top tier. I love it. It's aggressive and it just suits my personality. Other than that, in the real world, I'm a United States Marine. I'm a field police officer, and I just stream for my own personal enjoyment. I just enjoy the community. I love having you guys like hang out and chat and just conversing with you guys. And I don't know what else to say, man. I just like to have fun. It's just how it is. We like to have fun in my stream. That's how we do it.
All right, now Kiri, if you would like to say a few words about yourself, my man.
I'd like to thank my mom first and foremost. My name's Kirimoto. Most people know me as Kiri. Most people know me for Stamina Templar. I've been playing Stamina Templar since Ursinium, and I'm on my second Templar right now, trying to get 2 GOs. But I've also played a few other classes, mostly in like dueling and for group PvP, very briefly. But yeah, most people know me for Stamina Templar. I'm in almost the same situation as Pain, where I've played it when it was not necessarily the best and when it was really good. So regardless of like what the performance is, I'll usually play Stamina Templar. I've been trying to branch out to other classes for group PvP more recently. And some of the patch notes has a little bit to do with that as well. But I make, like about me, I like to make guides for newer players or even experienced players so they can learn a thing or two about the theory of PvP, specifically dueling and small scale and stuff like that. I enjoy making that type of content, and yeah.
Okay.
May I add that Kiri is probably the smartest man out of all of us here.
Honestly, dude. If y'all want numbers
I'm
and
blushing.
all the statistics and everything, y'all go to Kiri. Don't come to me.
Yeah,
If you wanna min-max
That's so
everything,
true.
you hit that man up. Hit that man up, bro. That man's 200 IQ, man. All right, now to the legend himself,
Overhyped.
Pale Orc. You've been here before. I think this is your second time on the podcast. If you want to reintroduce yourself.
The invite, brother. I was really looking forward to doing this. Those of you who know me, I'm the Pale Orc. I stream Elder Scrolls Online. I started about, I'd say, 2014. I main Stamina Dragon Knight, but I'm known as the GM of a guild called Legions of Mordor. But it's a RP/hardcore PvP guild. But we have a lot of fun out there. We're Daggerfall Covenant. Basically, I'm a large-scale PvP. I pretty much started out doing that. And then I got into the community, and I got into pretty much doing everything. You know, I met a lot of really awesome people. I try and dabble in every area of PvP, man. Just put the content out there because I'm PvP at heart, man. And this community is everything to me. And I'm an auto mechanic. I own a shop in New York. And I like to work out and play video games. Pretty much that's been my whole life. And I appreciate everybody watching, supporting myself, this podcast, and everybody in the community. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Hell yeah.
Cheers, Pale.
I got soda for the cheers, bro.
This is Jack and Coke.
Should be
Okay?
all fuck-
Snuck some
Wow.
Jack in there.
Well, you know I'm drinking shit too, so I'm gonna run out the
Off-brand
Scotch
Red
here
Bull.
if I get a moment to get it right. You know, I'll get the harder shit. And you get the real raw pain.
Yo, Pain, what is that behind you? The piece of plywood or the wood?
Oh,
Is that
so-
Elder Scrolls Online?
It is. It's a bit outdated because it says Daggerfall Covenant on it. And that. Sorry, Pale, but that's shit. I know. But this was made
traitor.
from a fan, and they made it custom for me. And
I like how it says
was back-
Daggerfall Covenants.
I know. I don't even play these games. It's a joke. I might as well break it in half, you know. But at the same time, it looks pretty cool. So I have to-
That is badass.
That's
Custom.
just
I love
fucking
it.
sick. That's
Get
actually
your
It
own
so
almost
made.
looks like it was burned and etched on there. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, it was high quality work. They fucking it's supposed to glow in the dark too, but like, it's been out for so long that I think it's lost its potency.
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
Well, to introduce myself, I know a lot of y'all came from Pain's channel. Some of y'all came from mine. Already here, already see some of the regulars. My name is Lord Zelly. A lot of you guys know me for Stamina Templar, but I actually have indeed mained literally everything besides Necros and Magic of Warden. I play literally everything. I like high damage specs. Outside of this, I am a huge...
Flex.
I know, flex, right? Flex. I am a, I guess a chungish right now, but I am a mixed martial artist. And this is what I try to do outside of a lot of the streaming and gaming that I do. To get to all the topics today, like I said, we're going to come over and talk about all of the patch notes. Not all the patch notes, a good summary of the patch notes, but we're mainly here to talk about the PvP community and what's going on, how small scale feels right now compared to large scale, the meta, everything like that right now. So we kind of had a brief discussion of what we were going to do before I actually went live. And we kind of want to do a small breakdown of the patch notes. We're just pretty much talking about what really stuck out to us. Anything that really stuck out to you guys that were massive changes for you and y'all's playstyles, anything like that.
Should we go around like?
We could go
Each
around the
person?
table or whoever says what first, but if we want to try to keep it in order, that'd be nice. Kiri?
Okay, so for the patch notes, I got to briefly take a look at them. The only part I didn't really get to go over was, I'll be honest right now, the new sets and the changes to the sets. But I did get to take a look at some of the changes for the classes. Well, I think it's a hot topic, especially because I play Stamina Templar. People are expecting me to say a few words on the the lack of changes to the other classes. I'll preface this by saying I understand why some of the changes happen, like the Burning Light, 25%, trying to remove some of the RNG, specifically for to try to help server performance. You don't have to calculate the RNG. And I agree with that. I think that it's a good direction that we should take, and it should be prioritized. However, I don't know if we should be sacrificing a lot of the impact of some of the classes for server performance. If there is an alternate way of doing it so that you can have the same server performance that ZeniMax is trying to reach with doing this change, without changing the class too much. So I don't know how long you want me to talk about this. but I'll just stop me. I'll talk about Burning Light first. So Burning Light was changed, so it's every fourth tick as opposed to 25%. So every fourth tick. Now the one thing that when I first looked at it was very vague when it said the window of how long it held the ticks. It just said it was long enough that every 1 second ability was able to proc it or something like that. So it didn't really say how long it kept the stacks in terms of Burning Light. So my opinion on that would really be based on how long the stacks stay. And I believe it was 2 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can correct me in chat, but it like keeps your stacks for 2 seconds whenever you proc Burning Light. So as it stands right now, I feel like the Burning Light change is more like, it's not necessarily, it doesn't feel like an Adric Spear passive, which is what it is, right? It feels more like it's in continuation to the tooltip of jabs and sweeps. Like it's limited to its effectiveness is kind of limited to that ability. Now it is possible to proc Burning Light with other Adric Spear abilities such as Toppling Charge, Javelin, Empowering Sweep, Crescent Sweep, and to a lesser extent Blazing Shield, but it's not going to have the same effectiveness as it did in the previous patches with this new change for non-jabs abilities. Does that make sense? So it feels like jabs is really your only effective way of proccing it, and therefore it doesn't feel like it's a passive for the entire skill line. Rather, it feels like it's in addition to, like, they should just add the passive to the tooltip of jabs, because that's what it feels like as it is. If it's 2 seconds and it only holds its stacks for 2 seconds. Now, I had a conversation with one of my friends, and I asked him, like, how long does the stacks on the Assassin's Will, the Nightblade bow ability, Assassin's Scourge, you know how you have to stack light attacks in order to get a proc? How long does that last? Do you guys know?
I have no idea.
Don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Assassin's Scourge, you have to stack light attacks in order to get a proc, and it stays indefinitely. So when you compare that, or 60 seconds, someone said, it's a very long time. So when you compare that to the 2 seconds for the other, for Adric, for Burning Light, you see the big difference in the two. And I feel like you can have a longer, hold the length, or increase the length of how long the Burning Light stacks stay on without really impacting the performance of the server too much. You can remove the RNG calculations, but dude, your face, because you're almost smiling, is really distracting me. Anyway, so
he's just happy, you know. He's just happy.
So anyway, I'll break it. I'll summarize it. So whenever you're doing non-jab things, it's hard to proc Burning Light. Okay, so you're gonna get CC'd every 7 seconds. Most, like, especially if you're playing against competent players, you're gonna get CC'd on cooldown or close to cooldown, right? So whenever you're jabbing, it takes 0.9 to 1 second to jab completely. There's this window, because it takes longer than a global cooldown. There's a higher chance that while you're jabbing, you're gonna get CC'd. There's just a higher chance because there's a longer window than just one global cooldown. It's a channeled ability. So there's a higher chance than if you were to get CC'd, like surprise attack or something like that. Stop. Okay, so there's a high chance that you're gonna get CC'd while you're jabbing, because one, it's a channeled ability, and two, it's a good time to get CC'd because that's the best time to CC someone. So you're gonna get interrupted. You're gonna get interrupted while jabbing a lot, and you might not get that fourth jab off. Additionally, whenever you get CC'd, you don't necessarily, like, whenever you get CC'd, you have to CC break, which takes time. And after you CC break, especially if you're stamina, you want to take advantage of the CP passive Unchained, which gives you cost reduction 80% on your next stamina ability when you CC break. It's a CP passive, right? So the next thing you want to do when you CC break is the smart thing to do, the most efficient thing to do is to cast an expensive ability. And in most cases, you're also taking pressure and damage whenever you get CC'd. So naturally what you want to do whenever you CC break, the next thing is going to be heal yourself. And Vigor and Rally are pretty expensive abilities. So most of the time when you get interrupted with a CC and you CC break, you're going to want to go into Vigor, or you want to go into Rally or rebuff your Rally or something like that. These are expensive, and also you're taking chances are you're taking a lot of damage, so you probably want to heal anyway, right?
Well,
both of those things that
between those two, you know.
What's up?
How much stamina are you looking at between those two, like for Vigor and Rally combo?
How much stamina are you using?
Like between the two, yeah.
Yeah, so the reason why you want to go for those is because you get cost reduction 80%. So it's a lot cheaper to do that, which makes sense.
But it would only apply to one, right? Is that what you're saying?
Only one, yeah. That I meant you probably want to do one or the other. You can do both if you want, and sometimes you take enough pressure when you get CC'd, that you have to CC break, and you might have to do both of them, yeah. But the point that I'm trying to make is whenever you get CC'd and you naturally go into healing, you're not jabbing anymore. You're not using really Aedric Spear abilities anymore. So your stacks, your Burning Light stacks, if they're only like 2 seconds, are going to reset. And that's going to happen every 7 seconds. So you're going to feel the impact whenever you're doing non-jab things. Anything that's not jabbing, you're going to feel the impact really hardcore. Now, if you're in PvE, and this is more PvP, but if you're in PvE, you look at your combat metrics and you look at how much damage jabs did, and it's the majority of your damage. Because it makes sense. You have more opportunities to go offensive as opposed to you have to rebuff and heal yourself, because you have a healer doing that in PvE. You don't really have to. There's a few mechanics, but when you look at your CMX, you're going to have way more damage done from jabs in PvE than in PvP, and you're going to get more jabs off too. So this impact is going to be felt less in PvE, the Burning Light change, because jabs are more prevalent in PvE, as opposed to in PvP. You have less opportunities to jab. They make up less of your damage. And because you have less opportunities to jab, Burning Light is going to feel a greater impact in PvP. Yeah.
You feel like this change is made primarily for PvE then?
I feel like it has less of an impact in PvE than in PvP.
So it's going to affect more for PvPers.
Of course, because in PvP,
it's going to have more of a downturn, like a downward spiral effect, right?
Yeah, it's a more of a blatant nerf as opposed to rework for server performance in PvP. And that's my argument, is because you have things like you get interrupted every 7 seconds, which stops you from doing damage, and you have to CC break and you have to heal, and it just resets your stack. So you go back to 0. So the solution to this, in my proposition for the solution to this, is increasing the amount of time that the stacks stay so that you can keep stacking them. Like 8 seconds is, I feel like 7 or 8 seconds is probably a good number to have your Aedric, to have the Burning Light passive. And the reason why I say that is because it's around the same as the CC window.
So we're looking
you guys are so distracting. It's hard to keep my thoughts in
Yo!
order. And I wanted to keep going, but I'm gonna let you guys talk, and I'm gonna be making faces while you guys talk.
No,
I'm gonna get up and start dancing.
You know, dude, if you want to get up and start dancing, that is perfectly fine.
Okay, once we get to the Magni K portion and PainInTheAxe wants to talk, that's it. I'm going off.
I'm going off your energy.
I'm going off
your energy, homie. I'm having a conversation. I'm complimenting your conversation. These two, like,
I feel you.
So dabbing over here, we got Pale Orc probably like stoned as shit, you know. But I'm with you, brother. Like, so you feel like the Burning Light passive is kind of fucking over the PvP community in a sense.
Yeah, it's more impactful in PvP when you're doing, especially because you do non-jab things more in PvP.
Right, because you're not just focused on a fucking hit jabs 3 times in a row, go back to like rebuff situation into like,
and then
whatever.
Go back into it. Yeah,
I didn't think about
it's
it
a lot
like
more
that.
dynamic.
Rotation. Like, PvP is more fluid.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but you could definitely, and that's, you can definitely fix that, and have the same server performance goal that you're trying to reach by increasing the amount of time that the Burning Light stacks stay, just like Assassin's Scourge.
Why aren't you a class rep, Kiri? You should be a class rep.
Oh, did my camera just go black?
Kiri, I think
It
your
looks like your
lights
lights
turned
just went off, bro.
Kiri, you need to pay your electric bill, okay?
This
All
man's
right, hold on,
throwing.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Pay his electric bill.
Pay your electric bill. What are you doing?
All right,
Come on, man.
all right.
He's
Hold on.
stalled.
So
That is so weird.
we went over the talk of burning light.
Hold on.
Is there any other significant changes to the classes? Oh, what the fuck?
Did Kiri die?
Whoa, whoa. Okay, I thought I died. Oh.
Hold up, real quick.
Oh, and now we lost Pale Orc if I switch to the other one. Okay.
Well, I
there we
guess it's just you and me, Zell. Just how it's meant
go.
to be,
There
right?
we go.
There.
All right. Well, and he left again. Yo, you're screwing up.
Wow.
You're screwing up my cams, Kiri.
Sorry, I think I just got it.
Okay, okay. All right, so that was a pretty significant change to, I guess, Templars as a whole. I didn't really go through the class changes itself. Was there anything else that was a straight up fucking game changer? That just like...
I think Magpie
completely-
is getting more healing potential out of their Purify. That's something they're getting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're getting a stronger healing potential. I think that's out of
I
So
saw they
you
had a-
from Templar directly.
yeah, because I think
Why did
they're-
everybody say that Templar got nerfed? What do they mean by that? I didn't look into that. 'Cause people
I-
ask me, okay,
so-
Templar got nerfed. Why?
The nerfing part, apparently Power of the Light was still hitting too hard. Is that what I saw? Can anyone come up to that? Like, apparently the scaling was off and it was still hitting harder than what it was supposed to be. So from what I was reading and from what people were saying is that they were quote unquote fixing the ability, and I think everybody was taking it as a nerf. That's not a nerf though, it's a fix, right? That's not a nerf to me.
I mean,
If it's hitting too hard,
protection
I
can
mean,
depend on the person,
Yeah.
who's looking at it. It could be a nerf. Technically, it is a nerf because they're fixing it because it's already good. If they're making
Yeah.
it worse.
But
Or-
can I make a counterpoint to that?
Go ahead.
Okay, go.
hit it.
Okay, so when Elder Scrolls Online was first introduced, light attack weaving was seen as not intended, right? But now everything in the game is not everything, but end game is balanced around people light attack weaving. So that in itself might have not been intended, but it was balanced around it. So it could be possible that the class was balanced around the performance of Power of the Light, regardless if it was a bug or not.
Mm.
And now that it's fixed, now you have to take into consideration the performance of the class after it's fixed, right? And in addition, they're also nerfing a lot of the other things. Like I mentioned, Burning Light is not a
Burning Light.
rework. Yeah, it's not a rework for server performance. It's a blatant nerf, in addition to a couple other changes that can be seen arguably as a nerf, and then some of them that are more of a rework.
Hmm. I guess I didn't really look at it as like that way, because I already know I guess with Burning Light and Power of the Light / Purifying really getting kind of fucked. I guess that is pretty much a big nerf to the class overall. Were there any changes to classes like Mag Decay, Stam Decay?
Mag Decay, very minor ones.
Just minor ones?
So they're reworking how the standard is going to work, and I'm not too sure if I have like a real idea, because they're saying they're going to rework how like the standard ultimate's going to work for performance, and it's kind of weird because every time like Zoss brings up something about performance, right, I kind of take it with a grain of salt. So let's look at the animation. Like, my biggest case in point is the animation canceling change, right?
Mm.
So they said the way they fucking are going to change and whatnot. So fucking when they say like anything about performance, man, like fuck it just gets worse, So I'll believe it when I fucking see it. And two, the only thing they really changed was Inhale. So they made Inhale have a 25% like stronger
Oh yeah,
explosion.
I haven't seen that.
And does that really matter? Not really, because let's take it from a solo PvP perspective, because that's pretty much what I do. Inhale is not really a skill you run in a solo PvP setting.
Mhm.
So it's more like a group play, maybe PV. I don't even know where you run in PV, but maybe. Like it's just like a Zerg
Discourage.
skill, It's like a Zerg skill, man. Like So Zerg's is just gonna hit harder inhale when they're fucking 20v1ing you down. Like, what do you fucking do, right? What they should have done is gone to the draconic power passives and maybe re-edited those to be more relevant. I forgot the name of it. I think it's like Elder Dragon. It gives you like health recovery. Or something,
Health recovery.
Right. So, what use is health recovery? Let's think about it. What kind of fucking Mag DK stacks health recovery or gives a shit about that? Almost none. So maybe if they rework some of the passives to be more relevant, like a reduction of cost, stronger dot power, you know, anything like that, like to make the Mag DK more relevant would have been great. But other than that, like class-wise, Mag DK got nothing. You know, they got absolutely nothing. We have the highest mag skill cost in the game. We have the lowest dot pressure compared to like stamina. And on top of like, let's take a Venomous Claw, right? Venomous Claw is about 1k less resources than Burning Embers. And I kind of get it because Burning Embers adds a heal, but Venomous Claw does so much extra damage more than Burning Embers. It's ridiculous. And here we are, this class, getting kind of gimped by an inherently dot-based class. Like with high costs, low healing potential, and just low overall, like no burst damage, low mobility. So I think they should have like looked at those aspects of the Mag DK more. Rather than like looking at skills like Stone Fist. Like they always want to fuck with Stone Fist, which makes no sense to me. Like Stone Fist is a meme for a reason because it sucks ass. So they keep doing all these weird changes to Stone Fist, the prior patches, and now they're messing with Inhale, which is okay, cool, like Inhale, but it's not really like the main thing that makes a Mag DK. Like, all the Mag DKs use like Engulfing Flame, Burning Embers, Molten Whip, Flame Lash. What else? Fucking Volatile Armor. Like Volatile Armor still registers as magic damage. Like why don't we just give that thing flame damage? You know how much more damage that thing would do if it had flame damage?
Yes, dude. It already does a lot of
Yeah,
damage.
that shit hurts, bro.
The only reason why, listen, the only reason
that
why
shit hurts.
The only reason why Volatile feels like it hurts because it's the strongest dot the Mag DK has over fucking Engulfing Flames and Burning Embers.
No, the reason why is because we're two Templars and we're shitting on Volatile Armor.
Oh, yeah, well,
so we're jabbing and killing ourselves. And
Yeah,
you're
literally.
and
yeah.
we're just, it's a learn to play issue.
Why are you worried about Volatile? You can purge off Engulfing Flames, you can purge off Burning Embers, you can purge off LE Drain, you can purge off Degen.
I would say Templar right now is in a way better spot than Dragon Knight overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Between stamina and Magico, 100%.
Hop on a Mag DK.
I'll agree with that, like by far.
Hop on a Mag DK and dual Stamper.
I've tried playing Mag DK like
These
12 times,
cards,
dude.
Do you see Stamina Dragon Knights and Magica Dragon Knights winning them anymore? No. You see Necromancers and Templars.
There's a reason why
Magic-
PainInTheAxe is the only Mag DK that shows up at dueling tournaments. Because nobody wants to play the fucking Mag DK. Because it's already gimped from the start. Unless you're running a super proc heavy build, like Ice Heart, fucking Joggerkin, and Mauve Inferno, like that extra cheat.
I feel like you only need Mauve Infernal to make Mag DK like really oppressive in duels.
You can definitely use Mauve and make it impressive in duels, but like all these other damage sources are kind of like gimped in a sense, you know, because it's easily purged. It does lower damage ticks. Like even with Malacath on, like Malacath definitely helped out the build. Like you see all the Mag DKs running around Elf Bane with Blockadar right now, because that's a shit ton of damage, and that's pretty decent. You know, it's really good. But compared to like the inherent bursts, the stamina, and the other mag classes get, like say like a Mag Sword can like burst your frags if you don't block it at the right time or whatever, or like a Mag Warden if it's you get caught in the storm or whatever the fuck. I think he's really kind of gimped in that sense, and a lot of the passives are just outdated. The only thing they worked on was Combustion, which was a great change because it's more sustained. But the sustain's kind of negated by the fact that our costs just keep increasing patch by patch. Maybe not this one, but when they re-nerf the dots, they lower the damage, and increase the cost, that kind of like really killed off the Mag DK for a sense. So that was my problem with it. And I'm kind of disappointed to see that Mag DK doesn't get any attention, like in most of these patches. And I see Zappos talk about all you have to do is run Venomous and Broth there and fucking tricking me. And you know what, Zappos? You still get wrecked in duels when you 1v1, so suck a dick. I love you.
Ooh. Okay,
Get him out of here. No, I'm kidding.
no, I with Pale Orc just said, and then with Pain too. I'll say that I agree with the cost increases is probably not helping the viability of the class. Although I will say that in my opinion, I feel like Mag DK doesn't need one in execute or burst damage. The burst damage that it has is not a lot, maybe like from the ultimate, maybe a little bit whip. But that's the playstyle that I feel like ZeniMax wants MagDK to have, as opposed to, and that's the same reason why a Magicka Sorcerer doesn't have a lot of consistent pressure. It's more burst windows. Does that make sense? And that's just the playstyle that it plays.
Well,
and versus the MagDK. But the viability of it can probably be increased. The damage over time viability, playstyle viability can probably be increased by looking at the cost of the abilities. And maybe even the healing.
Maybe 500 off each ability, and just like
I would honestly go wonders, which is even 500, like a small.
Just 500 on each ability. Like Dragon Blood costs a shitload, dude.
Dragon Blood costs.
It's not even that great of a deal.
Koeheg is ass.
4K mag. 4K mag.
4K mag, dude.
Unreliable. I can be in a battleground at like 5K health or less. I'll pump
it's simple.
3 Dragon Bloods and I'll get like 2K healed.
Yeah, literally, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It's bug too at the moment.
Oh my god.
It's overly nerfed by like 20% with the new Battle Spirit change. Like for some reason, it's double dipping. But I don't have that confirmed. Like I haven't been like testing it or anything.
It could work in mending too, like a major.
Which one?
Well, we do have major mending, but like that comes with frag shield. But if you take the time to cast a frag shield into the Dragon's Blood, that's like wasting time. You're already getting pressured, you know.
I got you.
Maybe if it hit the Dragon Blood, got major mending, and then your next Dragon Blood would be like more efficient. That could be something. But
we did it again.
Minor mending. Oh, Kiri.
God damn it, Kiri.
Electric ball.
Omega.
Well, rip Kiri. Now me and
alright guys, that was everything. Oh wait a sec.
I don't know what happened to my camera. I'm like part of Pale Orc's camera.
Yeah, I have it set up as Discord cropping, so if somebody leaves, there it goes. It'll refix itself when they rejoin.
No, me and Pale are in the same house.
We found each other snuggling right now, bro.
I could just...
Hey, high five, Pale.
Oh wait, he's above me. I'd have to be like this. I got you, man.
Why is it so?
Man.
God. Kiri throwing. There you go.
I'm sorry. I don't know why it did that.
That's weird.
Technical issues, chat. Bear with us.
Weird.
All right.
Good. Good.
But I'm done running my suck. Go ahead, Pale Orc. Take the stage. Talk about Stand DK or whatever.
Well, I didn't see anything significant, honestly, for Stand DK. I'd say Stand DK is in a really good spot. What stuck out to me, basically, as a different topic, was the proc sets combined with Stand DK. I was talking to a lot of people, and the fact was that Leap, single target abilities weren't proccing the proc on multiple targets, but the Stamina Leap version was. We didn't know if that was intended on the PTS or not for it to be that way. So that's basically as far as I took it. But I'll probably change my Stand DK to a proc set next patch. This patch, I was avoiding it entirely just because I feel like it's cheese. You go into BGs, you get hit with Venomous, it drives me crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not gonna run that fucking set. You know, on my Stand DK, I run like Eternal Vigor, Essence Thief, or like New Moon Alkalite, Fury, Clever Alchemist, shit like that on it. Just, you know,
max
just max stats, you know, weapon damage with bleeds and shit like that. You know what I mean?
You're an honest player.
Yeah, you're a Chad. You know, like fuck venomous players, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
I agree, dude. Oh my god.
So next patch, the way that they're leaning procs, like not to get into it, but all the major changes that I've seen that struck to me with like the harmony nerf, like all these things, like heavy on procs, nerfing healing. You know, the classes that have cleanse are going to shine the same that they are this patch, probably even more so next patch. Significantly changing Stam DK though, I don't think so. Anything that affected it, but I'll probably swap over the build. That's basically it.
So you're gonna turn to a proc tard?
Probably.
Okay, well.
Probably. I mean, a 30,000 dot. I don't know the exact name of that set, but I was like, it'll probably get nerfed by then.
So speaking of dots and proc sets and stuff, what do y'all think about this whole Malakath proc set meta? Do you think Malakath should apply to procs? Because this shit makes me just... I'm over here working so hard trying to bop kids and they hit one attack and I get hit by like 900 billion dot damage, bro, and I die. Like, dude, I can't even purge Venomous Smite.
Yes,
like,
it should definitely apply to skills and not apply to
whatever the fuck
items. Excuse me. Like, that would be a great change, you know? Because there's, especially next patch, like, all these... We're going to probably get into sets later, but if you look at all the set changes, they're removing a lot of like on a critical strike or on like a melee damage or whatever. Like they're getting rid of all the off timers. Like like maybe okay, your 8-second timer is over. Now the next time you critically strike, this can happen. Instead, it's just going to happen automatically if you hit someone. You know, so and all these proc sets are increasing in DPS by like tenfold, a shit ton of them are.
Mm-hmm.
So with Malakath, you're pretty much going to have 0 downtime on all these proc sets, and it's going to be absolutely terrible for no CP. Especially Battlegrounds, like it's going to be absolutely.
That's
crazy.
Cancer. I haven't bothered to do BGs and haven't bothered with no CP at all.
It dumbs down the playstyle.
Oh man!
Instead of using your skill rotation, all you gotta do is sit in the back, maybe shoot a poison injection at somebody, and then bam, like 2, maybe even 3 proc sets applied to your target. And next thing you know, they're down to like 5k health. You just charge in, hit them with an execution, and then bam, high skill gameplay.
And they don't have to crit, which makes it even worse.
They don't have to do anything. Like they do let the sets. It's gonna be absolutely insane.
They are pretty much critting. So they remove. So yeah, ZeniMax made it so that proc sets couldn't crit a couple patches ago, and I agree with that change. But I'll say it right now. I ran a test where I had the exact same build on with Malakath and without Malakath, and I just swapped it for PaleOrcs instead of. So I would just swap off the second piece of PaleOrcs, and mind you, I was using a very cheap ultimate, and this is in duels. It's a more controlled environment versus different people, different test subjects. So at a 71 ulti, I have around like 50% uptime on PaleOrcs. And I don't like doing rough estimates, but if you do kind of like the calculations on how much it's giving you with 50%, 55% uptime, I would say it's doing about 180 weapon damage that PaleOrc is giving you on the 2-piece with Empowering Sweep on cooldown. But anyway, that's not the important part. What I'm trying to say is when I was running Malakath duels and I was running non-Malakath duels, right? I was testing it versus the same people and different people. The overall DPS that I got, and you can check this with CMX, right? Chat. I'm gonna just turn off chat. Okay. The CMX tells you the DPS that you did to the player, right? The damage per second. And it was like almost exactly the same. The DPS with Malakath and without Malakath, and having a 2-piece PaleOrcs on, which is about 180 weapon damage with Empowering Sweep, 55% uptime, they're almost exactly the same. So if they're almost exactly the same with Malakath and without Malakath, my things are not critting anymore and they're doing the same amount of damage, then you apply that to something that's not supposed to crit. So like proc sets, right? So if my abilities not critting but getting buffed by Malakath are doing almost the same amount of damage overall as they were critting without Malakath, then that trend would suggest that proc sets, which don't already crit, and you put Malakath, is almost equivalent to if proc sets crit. So that's why I said that they're pretty much critting. So it's like putting on Malakath is basically giving your sets, your proc sets, the ability to crit. It's like the equivalent damage, because if it's doing it to abilities that can crit and it's buffing it and it's almost the exact same or really close to the same, that's essentially like it's in the same ballpark. So just think about it. Whenever you put on Malakath, you're pretty much making your proc sets crit.
That's fucked.
Why maybe Malakath needs that nerf. Saying it shouldn't apply to sets, you know. It should apply to just true skills.
Yeah,
skills. And maybe just change, like you can just go in the wording, go in the coding, say like added 25% damage to all active abilities. Like that's all they could add.
Yeah, easy.
Right. What's hence would make people less often to run proc sets, even so. Right. You gotta get so much bang for your buck.
Yeah, there you go.
Balance it out both ways.
That would definitely balance it out. I think that was overlooked.
I think they want people to run proc sets. The way
low key with how much they added the venomous one. You can't even purge that.
No, you can't.
And it stacks.
Like a K. Like I've seen a battleground getting tick fight 1K per tick every single time. It's easier
to burst somebody down with a proc set than it is with clever alchemy and alkalite. You know what I mean? Together with ball orbs, you got to time it just right.
It just dumbs down the
You took
gameplay.
two the same caliber players and put them in a duel with a proxy. You know what I mean? It's debatable, but it's easier, I would say.
Definitely, I agree. That's why I don't like running proxy. The only thing I run is Valken, you know, and that's.
I have a really
that's proxy.
unpopular opinion. I don't usually run proc sets, like damage proc sets, but for the most part I don't have an issue with them. There's some that are overperforming, I feel like, and those culprits are usually the monster sets. But for the most part, I don't feel like it's a huge carry. I feel like it's a easier play style, and it's more frustrating to play against because the player's not doing. It's not like a skill equals damage. It's just set equals damage. But overall, I feel like I don't have much of an issue versus fighting proc sets, and I don't even use them myself, and that's for a reason.
I
It's not
disagree.
because
I think it's a major problem. That's when you're solo and you got that fucking tick on you from some pug that has it on you. That changes so much, dude. It really does. You know
that's
what I mean?
true.
If you're on a fucking Templar or a Necro, you just purge it right off. If you're on a Dragonite or Sork and you got 15 people hitting you, they just light attack one time and now you have Venomous on you times 5. And you're trying to heal through that shit. If you're a Templar or a Cleanse class, then that makes sense because now you're on a class that's okay, maybe you didn't get that whatever dot you have on you or negative effect. It might
sure.
be or not be that with the difference of you dying, essentially. Because I
For
play a
sure.
tanky fucking Dragonite and I have to like build into it just right. If you're fighting certain players, man, now like outnumbered fights feel so much harder to heal. On top of the healing nerf, I think, because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait till we get to solo PvP into why more.
That's probably the biggest thing with procs is the fact of solo play in small scale. Because you have all these shitters, excuse me, putting on a fucking proc set, putting it on me when I'm trying to put out content, dude. It's cringy.
I just realized something, and you made a really good point. And whenever I was talking about that, I don't really have an issue with proc sets. I think of the environment that I'm playing versus really good players. So organized GVGs or 1v1s and stuff like that. So of course a good player can match the performance of a proc set of the similar skill level, but someone who's not very good, like someone who's zerging you down, having just equipping something and immediately having like the same damage output as someone who's really good, that can be a problem. So yeah, you made a really good point. If you are outnumbered, if you're 1v-Xing and you're fighting players who are not necessarily good, but they are their effectiveness is like a good player just because they have certain sets. Yeah, I do have a problem with that.
The whole
organized higher tier.
Sorry, Pale. Go ahead. My bad.
Sorry, Pain. I'm saying at a higher tier of gaming, like you're saying, Kiri, as far as testing, and that would make a lot of sense. But when you're just trying to get out there open world, I think that it puts that player.
I agree. Like, it ruins a lot of 1vx capability. Like, I feel like almost every patch, like 1vx, just gets diminished even further. Like the whole healing nerf thing, and all these proc techs coming in really just makes it harder. And that's fine in a sense because 1vx is not entirely intended in a sense because like I don't think Sauce really wants people to be able to 5v1. You know, it takes like a lot of skill and fucking intelligence to do something like that. And the more like they add silly nerfs to like things that really don't need to be nerfed, like Battle Spirit, did it really need to change? No. Like they could have just gone into specific skills or specific passives of class that were overperforming and changed those instead. They didn't have to do an overall nerf for everybody. And I think the more they do that, kind of like kills off that playstyle even more and more. You guys, are we still here?
Whoa, okay. Yeah, I was like, I saw you moving. I was like, bro, what just happened? Did my internet cut out?
Yeah.
Oh, that scared me, dude. I was like, oh, are you kidding me?
Like,
not again.
This fucking electric bill. We need to pay your internet bill, though. All right.
Damn, my bad. You can call me out on that.
You're just too busy dabbing, and you're probably knocking over the cords.
I just low-key smacked my mic, bro.
You scared me.
I
I was getting in.
Mike over there.
Yo, all right,
I'm
so
pretty calm right now. Shit, I could be toxic if you want me to. Goddamn.
Too late.
all right, so to kind of stay on the same topic in a sense, since we're talking about proc sets, how it affects I guess mainly solo. How do you guys feel about solo PvP right now? I can obviously tell that it's a struggle right now. I barely solo myself now because the whole meta has changed, and everything honestly just bends me over right now. Like, it's just so hard right now, especially with the proc sets and Malakath buffing those proc sets as well. It really kills it for me. I don't even try to solo anymore. I'll solo for like the first half of my stream, and then I'll be like, yo, can someone join me, dude? I shouldn't be losing any of these fights, but this is just ass. Like,
It's doable, but it becomes, like I said, it becomes more difficult. I feel like when I'm out there, and let's just take Cyrodiil, right? On a good let's just take a non-laggy day on Cyrodiil, which is kind of like, hard to believe, but let's say the server's working and I'm out there solo and Cyrodiil just running around trying to find fights. I think this is more of a player-based problem too, because I'll be finding people like going from keep to keep, and I'm just like out there between, let's say, Chalman and Bleakers, right? Well, Chalman's flag. I'm like, cool. People are going to be riding the fucking Chalman from DC, try to defend that keep. I'll see more players who are more focused on running away actively from PvP than actually like participating in what the zone is for. Like, they're more interested in just PV dooring down keeps and zerging rather than actually trying to like do real PvP. So they'll either run for you or they'll sit there
unless it's 10v1.
Yeah, unless it's 10v1, exactly. They'll either run from you or they'll be like some fucking Magplar healer tank build that just sits there and spams Breath of Life.
There's no in between.
There literally is no in betweens.
They'll wait for that 10 man to show up and just pile you. So solo PvP is very rough because there's not a lot of people want to like actually participate in honest PvP in a sense, And these aren't even group players either. It could be just a random guy, because they'll complain saying like, "Oh, well, I'm a healer. Like, it's my job to just sit here and spam heals." It's like, well, if you're a healer, why are you out on your own
by yourself,
running around the Cyrodiil by yourself, just with no damage on your boards? Like, that makes no sense. They're not in any group. They're just out there just spam heals. It's like
light attack.
Yeah, like, what's the point? You're just there to like piss people off or what? Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. You're not a real solo PvP at that point if you rely on that 9-man group to come out of nowhere and pile you. And just like the whole battle spirit changes and like the proc sets and all that crap, it just, again, more DPS added to your character that you don't really need to be taking just for free. Like, they don't have to really do anything. They don't put any effort or thought into it, and they can just drag you down like that, and you're done for. Maybe you can pull off that 1vx if you like the opportunity arises, but more often than not, it doesn't happen, and it just sucks. It's just more of a struggle.
I bet it especially sucks. Yeah, I was about to say that. It probably especially sucks on a MagDK that doesn't have the option to disengage if it becomes too many people.
Yep.
The hardest to 1vx on, probably.
Oh my god.
Right there with Magplar.
I see a lot of Nightblades out there recently. I don't know if that's different, but that wasn't a thing. You see a lot of Nightblades out there now. Even more so, like Magic of Dragonite, dude, is probably the least solo class I've seen out there.
Yeah, it's the least friendly 1vx, but that's why
they're in a duo or a trio, whatever. They're in a group, you know what I mean? Usually.
That's what makes it more fun, because like it's a challenge, and like sometimes 100%. The game is just too easy, and you have to like put out that extra work to get those kills. It makes you feel better. At least it makes me feel better at the very least.
It's tough, man. It's
a
challenge.
It has to do with exactly what you just said. There's really no in between. The mentality of the casual player is either I'm gonna hide in stealth and wait for the group to engage before I jump in on this guy, or I'm not gonna engage at all. And so that's why you see the top tier classes, like the tier list of classes for 1vxing and solo PvP and stuff like that, is the highest mobility. Like, pay attention to which ones are doing the best. It's the ones with the highest mobility, because mobility is.
Theory, do you think?
What's up?
Which classes do you think are performing the best right now in Cyrodiil that you see most commonly? For speed, being evasive, like, in your opinion?
That's a very vague question for Cyrodiil, but if we're gonna focus more on like solo, like 1vxing as opposed to group PvP because I feel like it's different.
No,
but if we're talking
1vx.
okay, for the topic, like 1vxing, that's why you see stamina classes performing a lot better and easier in 1vxing because they have access to more mobility than Magicka classes, with the exception of some Magicka classes that have mobile abilities like Streak or Magicka Nightblade, which has Shade, things like that. They have access to Race Against Time. Sure, I'll give them that, and Mistform. But Stamina has Race Against Time too, in addition to other things.
Everything else.
Just having a higher stamina pool. They can be Orc, medium armor, roll dodging opportunities, like all these things stacked on top. That's why you're having a really bad time on MagDK. I mean, I'm having a bad time too sometimes too, but at least I, as a stamina class, and not Stemplar, but all stamina classes, can have an easier time to disengage if I start seeing too many numbers are coming in. I should probably get away from this. I have a higher probability of getting away. That's why mobility. That's why mobility is is probably the defining factor on one of the biggest defining factors of whether you're going to succeed in 1vx or have a bad time.
It's almost like the argument between Shuffle and Race Against Time. Yeah, you get major evasion from Shuffle, but I mean, Race Against Time, you can literally get the fuck out and just zoom out of there. It's more. It's technically, it's technically more damage mitigation in the sense that you're LOSing or getting away from the target rather than just tanking 25% more damage. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I prefer Race Against Time.
Right, same by far.
If we were to put a selection on 2 classes from Stamina and 2 classes from Magicka that were performing the best in Cyrodiil right now, what would we pick?
Stamina Necro.
Stamina Necro.
Stamina Templar.
Stamina
Necro.
Magicka, definitely Magicka Sorcerer, and behind that is questionable, I think.
Yep. I think we draw the line at Magicka Sorcerer.
Or maybe Magic Templar. I don't know. That would be my opinion, maybe. I don't know that much about Mag 1vxing, so I can't.
I think Mag Templar.
I can't.
Mag Templar, I say, is good just because it has like so much tank into it. Just not maybe so much distances, but just its healing potential. Healing potential.
You're right. I say because of the healing potential and the fact that that's cleanse.
Yes,
you know what
exactly.
It's true.
Mitigates so much shit when it comes down to it.
People also don't realize how much healing over time Magplar has too, because I've played Magplar probably like when I mained it, probably about a year straight, if anything. And dude, like Purifying Light gives a heal. You drop your ritual. You have your Breath of Life that can crit for like 17 billion fucking K. Like the class has so much off healing that people don't recognize. Puncturing sweeps. It doesn't heal you for a lot, to be fair, but it still heals you on top of everything else. People don't realize how much extra healing Magplar has.
You have Mag Nightblade who could shade all over the place, be evasive, and cloak. So that might be better. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, I don't 1vx on a Mag class often. I main StamDK. But I guess it's questionable because I have heard that Mag Templar squish when you're getting hit by multiple people, and it's extremely difficult.
The big problem with Mag Templar is just like I kind of feel like with MagDK's bit is that you get stuck on your block bar casting your Breath of Life or your Coag and you're dying through it.
Yeah,
I think more so with MagDK, but
there's no offensive/defensive pressure. That's why I think Magplar is better because even when it's jabbing, it's going offensive while having a slight defense to it as well.
That's why I don't think it's that good for 1vxing because whenever you're faced with the situation where you are outnumbered and you have to move away from the group that's about to kill you, you're not jabbing, you're not Purifying Light, you're casting your extended ritual, but you're moving out of it. What are you left with? You're on your back bar with Breath of Life spam. What are you gonna do? Like if you're holding block, you're not moving.
Well, hopefully, if you're smart, you're utilizing the terrain and whatnot, and getting LOS and all that, and hopefully that you're in an area because you shouldn't be open world trying to 1vx with like nothing around you. You should have like a tree or a rock or something.
Of course,
you're kind of like making your home base, and you should know how to use that terrain to your advantage to get like the upper hand. That's what I do. So I'll go back and forth, and now I'll remember which spots are good to like do loops around, which are little crevices or like little fucking paths I can go through. Like may like trick some of the Zerglings because they just don't have a fucking brain, so they're just running around like chasing you like a rabbit or whatever. So you utilize that. You maybe place that purify, and you double back, go back into it, and then like reestablish yourself and start laying down pressure. Like you don't have to like constantly replace that purify or whatever. You can once it's there, it's there. You can walk back into it if you use
that works against smaller groups though. As soon as you start getting like you can only use a certain spot for so long before they start surrounding you. If it's like more than if you're a 1v6 or something like that or higher, and you have to keep moving to a different line of sight and kite.
That's true.
And that's where in those situations, that's why I don't feel like Magplar would be able to do it as good as other classes that are don't have to stay in the same place or be offensive with sweeps and purifying light, which you're not doing when you're overwhelmed by numbers, and which happens a lot. And other classes can do that. Magplar can't.
It does depend on that terrain, though. Like I've been able to reuse certain spots over and over and over again, depending on like where I'm at. But yeah, in that 1v6, like if it's the right spot, you should be able to pull it off.
I guess.
True.
Yeah, I guess we can all agree that Magsorg definitely is the number one for the whole 1vx. I don't know where I would actually put 2 because I do agree with what Hunter was saying in chat is that you do get stuck on your back bar while just taking too much damage, just like what Kiri was saying. Like you're just getting overwhelmed. Honestly, if you're getting overwhelmed that hard, you're pretty much gonna die anyways, regardless of what class you're on. You're just gonna get like 20 people swarming you, and you're like, oh well, you're dead. I don't know what I would put actually at the second. I feel like I would just tie some classes, but honestly, I don't know what I would tie with Magplar for 1vx right now. Because like Mag Necro is dog shit, completely dookie without Harmony. I tried doing one-on-one duels with that class when it first came on the PTS. The skull hit for nothing. Like it just feels underwhelming, bro.
The problem with that class is you can only kill people with an ultimate.
Exactly.
Which is stupid.
Exactly.
It's stupid. You catch your enemy off guard in Cyrodiil. I've definitely been bombed by a Necro before, and I'm like,
yeah, definitely.
I got hit with a fucking 20k boneyard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Colossus.
I mean, on that note, they did nerf Harmony in the patch notes.
They
significantly nerfed it. Coming from, because I lead large scale, so that's a big factor in large scale PvP is Harmony. So with the healing reduction, with the Harmony change, what's going to change with that? I mean, I still think Harmony is going to be your way to go for group play, but you might see a lot more back in the old days with Steel Tornado Spin to win Wardens, shit like that coming out, maybe.
That was a disgusting meta.
Master Cleaves is being used a lot. It's a lot of damage over time. So maybe we'll see some AoE proc sets mixed in with stamina like hybrid comps. You know, me personally, I'm going to lean on probably Magic Warden Storms combined with Burst. So that's probably Big Daddy ultis combined with Soul Tether, a Meteor, Negate, a Nova with, you know, a Banner and Boneyards, like multiple.
I think group play
multiple Big Daddies.
The old dumps rather than just
5 of them in the same spot, you know? For as far as large scale goes. But I mean, I don't see it affecting 1vx that much, Harmony, because I mean, how often do you really get hit by it when you're 1vx because you move it around a lot?
It's gonna affect Magcro. That's about it.
So yeah, I don't know what they could do with Magcro differently, but that class, in my opinion, is just like in between its ulti windows. It's like a shadow of a MagDK.
Booty.
Really. It's just. I agree with Zelly. They need to maybe up its spammable for it to maybe have more pressure. Or I mean, I play it in group play only. I've never really experimented too much solo with it.
It's a one.
I think you should be able to kill. You should be able to kill a player without your ultimate. At least bring their health down past 50%.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That class is probably that's the biggest thing about it that I noticed personally.
Like the only Mag Necro I've seen pull that like a good fucking 1v1 off was Archos because he planked me in the 1v1 tournament. But other than that, like most of the Mag Necros out there are just relying on that Colossus graveyard synergy to get a kill. They just want to lock you down and that's it. And they'll sit there and they'll just tank you for like 5 minutes until that's just ready. So I think it definitely needs something like more viable, like on its class set. That's just okay. Well, my ult's done. I didn't kill them. Now I'm gonna sit here and just heal myself and buff up for like 10 minutes until I'm ready to do that again. You know, it's just like it's Resident Sleeper gameplay. Like they need to fucking change it.
Some classes like Magic and Necromancer and Magic and DK, excellent group classes. Excellent. If you don't have them in your group, what are you doing? Major vulnerability. It's providing synergies. It is a broken fear totem And Mag DK's got the Talon synergy, which is like the most burst you could synergize from a Nightblade or whatever class you're using to synergize. It's just some class now look at Stamina Necro. Stamina Necro is probably one of the best 1BX classes out there right now.
It's the best
But
one.
Stamina morph of that class, so then you have the magic. Like Xenomax, they implement that class for a reason. Like I think Ellie, I'm sorry, Kiri mentioned earlier. It's just the way that they want the class to be played. I mean, you could play a class any way you want, essentially, but is it going to be optimized? Probably not. You know what I mean? It'll be optimized in a group setting, which is just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Right.
That was my next point. I was going to say, sure, it might not have the best pressure without the ultimate, but whenever it uses the ultimate in this in a group situation, it's insanely strong. Like it's crazy strong. Probably the best ultimate for group PvP.
Major vulnerability, 30% increased damage. I think it's the third hit, too.
Yeah, the final strike.
The final strike. So you wait for the final strike, and then you dump your leap, your Dawnbreakers. It's hitting 30% increase more damage, right?
The initial does the major vulnerability.
Oh, so it's the first.
It's the first
so
one,
let me. I want to say something though about the major vulnerability. The initial, first of all, the initial, right? But it also does initial damage, and a lot of people don't actually survive in a good bomb. They don't even survive to even see the third hit. You'll just drop the ulti. Everyone gets major vulnerability. Everyone gets the initial hit of the Atro. And like as that happens, you drop your offensive ultimates, like Dawnbreakers, leaps, or whatever you're using, and they're buffed by the vulnerability. And what I was gonna say is a lot of these ultimates that I just mentioned, like Onslaught and Dawnbreaker, and to next patch is gonna be Empowering Sweep or have cast times on them, right? So the reason why they added cast time to Empowering Sweep is to quote unquote introduce counterplay, right? So now I want to ask to the people who changed it, what is the counterplay to the initial major vulnerability? Because it comes off like right off the rip, right? As soon as you see the animation, that's where the major vulnerability, that's when the major vulnerability is applied, and that's when the initial damage is applied, because there's no counterplay to that. And so if they're
purge it off.
Yeah, but that's after the fact.
Right, so that small window.
It's after everything gets smacked.
Well, they're introducing cast times 0.4 seconds to ultimates, so that like everything is slowed down. Like so, there's counterplay. So I was gonna say, if they're gonna introduce cast times to Empowering Sweep, then it would be only fair to also introduce, and I disagree with the Empowering Sweep for a few different reasons, and we can talk about that later. But it would only be fair to also introduce it to major vulnerability, because that's when the animation, it would be the same treatment, because it's not, you can make an argument and say that, well, it has a counterplay because it does 3 ticks of damage, and that takes time, but it's not the third tick of damage or even the second tick that's really killing people. It's the initial application of major vulnerability and the initial damage, and that in itself has no counterplay. And I also want to mention, which is not really important, but it's kind of relevant, is the animation also doesn't make any noise. So if it doesn't make any noise if you're not in Cyrodiil or Battlegrounds. So if you go into a duel with someone and they cast major vulnerability ult or Flesh Atronach ult on you, it doesn't make any noise. And if they cast it behind you, not only does it make any noise, you can't see it because it also doesn't have a red AoE around it, which is unintended. It's it's a bug. It needs to be fixed. It doesn't have a red AoE around it, and it doesn't make any noise, further exacerbating the lack of counterplay that the ultimate has, because it's initial. You can't see it, you can't hear it. Like there's just so many things wrong with it, and it would only be fair. And I disagree with the cast time on Empowering Sweep. But if you're gonna do that, then that's that. You can, the only way to not be a hypocrite would be to add it to the initial major vulnerability, which I wouldn't want to see happen, but that's the only way to have a fair, like, for it to be fair.
If they make a change like that, see, I kind of agree, and I see where you're coming from, but though how much does Crescent Sweep cost? It's like 78 or something, right? It's like really cheap. And then if you're Nord and if you have
71.
Oh, okay, 71. Well, my shit.
71. Oh.
Ooh, okay.
I actually didn't know that.
Compared to how much is Colossus? Like 200?
250.
250?
Yep.
I think instead of doing like instead of trying to add a cast time or something to it, I think the vulnerability should just proc off either the second or the third. Because from my experience in Cyrodiil, when I see that ult, even sometimes if it's a friendly ult, it'll still freak me out and I get the fuck out. I don't die to specifically that ult unless there's a big Zerg root and snare spamming and everything like that. I think the fact that it already costs like 200 plus ult is, I think it's fine where it's at. But if you did want to add a change like that, I don't think the first hit, the initial hit, should give major vuln. It should just be the second or third. Because that way, if you get hit by it, you still have that reaction time to get the fuck out before the second one hits you. That's what I think would be a change. I guess if you want to make the argument for the Crescent Sweep one, it's just that I do think Crescent Sweep is just its uptime is insane.
Yeah, and I think
cast times than anything, you know, like there's certain skills, sure, but like that's what makes ESO combat unique. Is like there's very few skills that should ever have a cast time. Like one of them being like frags or like you throwing a fucking box, like the opposite, inevitable detonation or whatever it's called on somebody.
Yeah, inevitable.
Cast times kind of just slow down the gameplay, and that's something like ESO is unique with because they barely have any skills that are cast time related. That's what makes it cool. And the more they add cast time things like in-cap, like Crescent Sweep, fucking any other, or like even Leap has like a small cast time on it now. Like it just makes it silly, you know? It's like
Ultimates should not have cast times.
I agree.
At all. I don't think
I agree.
Any should.
Yeah,
I agree completely too.
They shouldn't. They should be instant.
I agree.
It takes long enough time to have an ultimate in an outnumbered situation, or even in group setting situations. You need the burst then, now, at that moment, dude.
And the thing, not to interrupt you, but the other thing that makes me mad about cast times, just an example, is Dawnbreaker. When you go in and you go to drop your Dawnbreaker, and you get CC'd before it fully goes off, so that fucks you and you die because of that. Or then the fact that since it does have a cast time, and if it does, you can see the full animation go of Dawnbreaker, and then if you get CC'd right at the end, it looks like your Dawnbreaker went off. You saw the animation, but all it did is bug out and never go off. Like all cast times did was add more issues. All it did was add more issues.
Animation cancel input delay.
You need
that take your ult
offensive window.
It won't take your ult if it does that, but it's still like it removes the whole point of ulting right there and then. So it can still fuck you up like real bad because of a dumb change.
Before we
like
moved
that.
on to Dawnbreaker and stuff like that, I was gonna make a comment and say that I think that the huge range, like the huge AoE of Flesh Atro, and the fact that it also does 3 ticks of damage and it stuns justifies the higher cost. I feel like we don't have to take into consideration the higher cost of Empowering Sweep versus Atro and say that just because it costs more, it shouldn't have a cast time, because there's already justifications for the higher cost.
That's true. Like I said, like the whole Crescent Sweep cast time thing, I think was a bad idea.
I think it's a terrible change.
It's silly. It's just silly. Like, you know, like it doesn't need to be changed. Like it's fine. It's already working.
I mean, if they're gonna add a cast time, just increase the cost. I'd rather that slightly.
That's true. I'd rather have it.
Alright, the cast time, make it cost 100 ult.
Yeah,
that's it.
And are people really using? Are people even really using those ultimates?
What, like sweep?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I only use it in 1v1s.
Everybody is using Crescent right now.
Sweep a lot.
Yeah, Crescent empowering.
Because it's not good in group PvP.
No, like not in like fucking say
it's decent.
Maybe 2v2, but like not like 5v5.
Yeah, like 3 people or higher, it's not good at all.
Yeah.
No.
It's part of the reason why.
Shitters, I mean, Zerglings who have Pain says it.
Yeah.
They got sweep on their bar. It's on your recap, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude,
I don't know why.
The kind of guys over on the
because it's cheap. You know.
Yeah. I mean, shitters will be shitters no matter what. You know, you can't change a shitter's mind.
Yep, you killed by 10, you get bagged.
Kiri.
It did it. I'm sorry. I need to use the restroom anyway, but
just leave it open. Don't disable it. Just hide it if you can or something. Because I can't switch to the 3 cam layout.
I think Kiri just works for Anonymous. Doesn't want to see. Has to see.
I know, right? He's hacking somebody right now as we speak, boys.
So you don't want me to leave and rejoin?
You know?
Oh, if you want to leave and rejoin real quick, you can.
Yeah, because that'll fix it.
Yeah. If you want to do it real quick. Okay. We got moving dots.
Hold on.
Man, throwing. Hey, wait. Hello. Now I'm up here. I'm back here now. Look at that.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna go and lick Pain now. Hey, Pain.
Oh, hey.
Uh,
I'll give you a kiss, bro. It ain't nothing wrong kissing.
Ain't nothing wrong, bro. We got a song with the homies, dude.
Nothing wrong
I
kissing.
don't know why it does that.
Your tongue's synced.
You know, I got that tongue action shit.
All right, so we briefly went out, or not briefly, we actually went to deep conversation about fucking cast time.
Can I use the restroom while you do transition?
Yes.
All right, be right back.
Only if you leave your mic on.
Solo PvP and everything. Bring the mic with you. What are you doing?
Yeah, I want to hear that shit, bro.
Nah, but so Matt hadn't brought up in chat earlier. He was saying that healing sets and stuff like that will only affect players inside your group. Is that going to be a thing?
I hope
That's a
so.
big change.
Dude, that's a
great.
huge
Huge.
change.
That's awesome.
Huge
I
change,
love
man.
it.
I love it. I didn't see that.
Think about it. Earthgore no longer proc.
Oh my
Only
god.
Mutagen
Fucking-
only groups.
Let's
Heal-
go!
Purge only groups. That's a huge change, man. That's one of the
Huge
groups Mike was
change,
talking about, because a lot of times the purges and all the the healing over time, it might even help with the performance significantly, because if you're not in the group, you have to essentially self-heal. So I think it's a big change, man.
Damn. Good, dude. That makes me so happy because I'm already annoyed when I'm destroying. I'm going in on a target and then a Magflower will pop a remembrance or something. And it's just like, fuck. But it makes me even more mad when a Magflower is healing this dude and then an Earthgore procs from somebody else, dude. That just...
It's the most
It makes me
triggering
want to
thing
start
ever.
swinging. Dude, like...
I have 3 keyboards on standby just for when
Like-
Yo, Pain smashes his
Just,
feet
just
flying.
fucking throw it down, dude. It pisses me off so much, man. I'm literally have like a guy down to 2k health, and then some freaking stamina DPS comes out.
Earthgore.
Earthgore, bro. You're
Oh,
stamina.
The Turtle Beach is on too.
The
It's
Like the
Yeah.
Xbox headset.
Will group play become more prominent now because of that change?
I think
it
more
might
players
even
will-
encourage group play even more. So.
Which change?
Like the
change
fact
of
that
healing. The fact that old group is only group healing for cross healing. So you can have people either it'll help you, and the same token, it's going to encourage people to group together even more, which is usually what ZeniMax does with it, because you're essentially supposed to be in a group setting. Like you said, it's not really common to solo play in. It's more out of the ordinary.
it's a dying breed.
Based on the changes, you know what I mean? Especially that healing change
Damn.
directly. So
That's-
that can go
that's
both
a-
ways.
I think it'll
That's
be
a
great.
pretty-
Though.
I like that
It
change.
was stall
It will
like it.
affect the performance, I think. In my opinion, it might take a lot of load off the server because of, the healing
less
is
calculations.
condensed. It's condensed, so I'm interested. I'm interested to see how that plays out for sure.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I am gonna miss is that when I do go solo in Cyrodiil and I know I'm gonna need help, and I see some buddies like at the resource or something, and
Sounds like a learn to play
I
issue.
run to them and I need some help because I'm about to
They
get.
don't help you. They watch
Yeah.
you die. In my experience, I'm like, what?
see,
I'm
no,
gonna run
I
towards
get help
the door
all
over
the
here
time.
because I'm getting zerged. They watch me die.
They watch you die.
If I
dude.
fight someone
Not me,
else-
dude.
If I fight someone else, I get hit by 20 ultimates, Dawnbreakers, sinking
Dude.
Novas on my shit, bro. I'm like, come on, help me over here. Give me one mutagen. One mutagen over here, man.
A
I got
crumb
a-
of
I've-
mutagen?
I've definitely been resto ulted by people not in my group before, but
I'm
I'm
crushing.
I'm
I
good.
gotta please you furious and go grab some scotch though. So enjoy my chair.
Go get your scotch real quick, sir.
I think it's a good change.
It's a good change. It's definitely a good
I'm
change.
excited to see it.
The band-aid is removed. It's all on you. If you're playing solo, you're playing solo.
Man, remember, I'm having flashbacks to the first Earthcore that was released on live server when they would heal everybody. Oh my god, that was a Zerg band-aid. You would go in, ult bomb, destroy everybody. Everybody would be 1 HP. It's a blood rain, and just everyone's alive. Like, that was a band-aid. That was a band-aid.
It's a band-aid.
Healing a
I
buff
think
will still stack outside group, just not sets. Well, yeah, we were ranting about Earthcore, so fuck Earthcore. No more giving Troll King to some random dude over there across the map. Like, GG. That's good.
GG. What did I miss?
We'll go grab
Just
some
Earthcore
water.
rant. I know this is not this patch, but I do want to hear your thoughts, or everyone's thoughts, about the battle spirit changes in the from last patch. The 20% less healing, 10%, 20% less healing. I guess
I think it was unnecessary. I don't think people should have had natural critical resistance added to them. Like, it's just, again, it just ruins more solo play. It's like, people don't have to build more into tank; they can build more into damage. If Norway's everything down, so be it. So like, that solo player has to be more conscious of like his critical resistance. Maybe take out some more of his other defensive passives, like a CP tree added into the red tree. Put more crit in if he doesn't want to change his traits. You know, I changed a few of my traits just because like I use more block, like more reduction of block, but I just don't think it was necessary. Like, I'm not a fan of these overall nerfs for everybody. You know, if something's not working well, they should go look at the thing that's not like sufficient and fix that instead, rather than going into like something that everybody has applied to them, say Battle Spirit, and tamper with that instead, because it just doesn't really solve anything, because then everyone's just going to make those adjustments, and what's really going to be fixed, you know? It's just going to make it harder for like the solo player or like the small group player, and it's just going to keep this arc even harder. They just need to pinpoint the problem and target it, fix it, and then be done with it. You know what I mean? That's just how it should be.
What is that quote from The Incredibles? The villain says, "When everyone's a hero, no one, or when everyone's a superhero, nobody's a superhero." It's like when you blanket. So this is why I disagree with. I personally, I don't agree with the healing changes from last patch. I think there's something necessary to be done about healing. But if everyone in Cyrodiil gets reduced healing, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to affect the problem, the big groups, because the players that are seeing the most, or let me say, the players that are going to see the most impact from that change are going to be the solo small scale players, as opposed to players who don't care how many people are running and they're like 24 mans, or they're not grouped up. Maybe they're like 20 mans. That you can just add another body, you can just add another healer, and you pretty much have the same output of healing. And when you're small scale, you don't have that luxury of doing that.
Precisely.
So anything that nerfs everyone doesn't nerf the big groups, because they can always add more people. But it does nerf the small scale, because 4 people, 5 people is weaker than it was the previous patch.
I think that the biggest problem with that was a lot of people complain about ball groups, right? Ball groups, for instance, I run one. You know, we run between 16 and 24, which is a lot of players. But the amount of healing output and 5-piece sets that you can have in the 24-man is ridiculous. You're not including Haiti, you're not including Winters. You have Gossamer, which gives you, you know, the nature evasion. You have SPC you could run, Olo, you know, Wiz, Transmutation, you know, all these sets that you could stack up in that group, in one group, combined with, you know, 20 rapid regen stacked multiple times on each player, was complained about a lot. I think that's probably the biggest thing. So now they nerfed healing a little bit, you know, to maybe address that. And if, like you said, Jerry, it directly affected small scale PvP, which is not really what you want to do, because now that you have a larger group, doesn't affect you because you could stack more players. Do you know what I mean? So not only you take into consideration where you could only fit so many, like a group composition for 6 is going to be much more critical, we know that, than a group composition of 24.
24, yeah.
So, okay, now they're nerfing the healing, okay, and they're trying to bring down those ball groups, but in the same token, it's not doing anything to the larger groups. It's just affecting the smaller groups. My healing in my group is excellent, and not for nothing, if we have a problem, you have 6 barriers that you run. You have major protection uptime. You have so many things that's just overperforming. In larger group play, where I could see where it's affecting in smallest group, where it's annoying. You know, I play both, so I get kind of the both flavors, where it's like, okay, I'm leading a Zerg and now I'm fighting a Zerg. And when I'm by myself, I get the full fucking backlash of it, the aggro, believe me. But I'm saying, I think healing, in my opinion, should have been left alone. It wouldn't have made a difference for the larger scale that they were trying to address, and it wouldn't have affected those smaller scale and solo like it did, especially with the proc sets that they're introducing. I think they probably should have left healing alone, and maybe, like Pain said, fight the actual issue of, address something else. Because now it's harder to solo and it's harder to small group play. It's just stacking bodies, which essentially not really what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Causes more lag when you add more players to your algorithm. You know what I mean? So if you have to add that extra healer or two, it's just another healer that's just wrecking down server performance. If you have to add it into your group, it really doesn't fix anything.
I gotta use the restroom real quick, and when I come back, I'm gonna bring up a topic that's kind of on the same topic. It's like how the meta pretty much shifted, but if y'all want to talk amongst yourselves real quick, I really gotta go.
Let's just sit here in silence.
Sit here in silence as a stare.
I have a topic we can talk about. But
there you go. Thanks.
Go ahead, Pal.
One thing to add to that, though, the direction that they're taking with Harmony, and the direction that they're taking with consolidating healing into group play, might have a large effect on that healing nerf for large scale group play. I don't know. You know what I mean? So that huge burst damage that you're seeing coming from Harmony might be significantly nerfed. You're talking about a large percentage. So I wish I knew the exact number of what it was, but they nerfed each piece. Maybe Kiri would know.
It went down to 20.
20%? It
was
was at
25?
35, right? 3 piece was
35.
35%.
Oh, it did it. Anytime I click on something on my
105%,
screen, it messes up.
20%. So that
So
might
six-
be yeah, you blacked out. Kiri.
I know,
That might be
but
a
I'm looking up. I
significant
got you.
change.
Sorry, Pale, you have to look at me, and that's it.
Oh, I'm fine with that, brother.
Oh,
You got
shit.
2 Chads.
Shit, the 2 Chads. Kiri, you gotta come back. We need the 3rd Chad. 3 months.
Give Dragon Knight a cleanse. Warden has one. Necro has one. Templar has
35% to 20%, and let me.
It's rough, yeah.
What do you think about that, Pain? Give Dragon Knight a cleanse.
Honestly, like, it would be nice to have a cleanse, and I'm fucking biased, so I would love that. But you know what I'd rather have? I just would rather have, like, a more sufficient heal and stronger dot pressure for being a dot class, That would literally make
Sets,
it would literally make the fucking class for us, Because I think asking for a purge would be way too much, It's just like that could be kind of game breaking. And I'm humble in that aspect. Like, yeah, Mag Decay gets a purge. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, Mag Decay getting execute or Stand Decay. Oh, Stand Decay has execute through like the weapon skill line, but like in terms of Mag Decay getting those like overpowered kind of like aspects, it kind of be game breaking. Just increase what we already have. Make what we have better. Don't add anything new. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all I'm asking. And it's probably falling on deaf ears, but it's
Gotta
all good.
walk on eggshells with the Dragon Knight. Let's all remember what was the strongest class on launch.
Oh my god, that's why we
Vampire Emperor Dragon Knight with ground oils.
Clouding Swarm talons into Inhale with dynamic ult gen, and you just sit there. You literally
God
can't
mode Magic of Dragon Knight.
can't even be taking any damage. You take no damage at all, and you just sit there and just murder everything. They don't even see you.
Oh man.
Yeah, if we got that, Matt had puts up a good point. Like, here we are with Stam Necro, or just Necromancer in general, getting inherently dot reduction passive. Like, why does Necro get that? It's not even a dot class, and yet it gets dot reduction to itself. Why doesn't Mag Decay get something like that? Change, like I'm saying.
Like you're saying, like,
Power
what
Elder
would be a nice
Wait,
pack?
everyone stay silent. Pretend we weren't talking.
Hi, Zell. We were just sitting here silently waiting for you. We
We
didn't
were
want to talk.
staring at your chair.
I think
Yeah.
you lost like 40 viewers while you were gone.
Yeah, like you're a 0 viewer, Andy, right now. Like no one's watching anymore. I don't know if that was Zell jerking off or like what, but I'll take it.
No, it'd be like
You're muted.
that much. I am not muted, man. You can throw hands with me.
Hey, can
You
anyone
can
hear
throw
Zell?
hands.
I can't hear
Yo,
Zell.
Phil, stop playing.
Why is this guy yelling at his camera? I can't even hear him.
Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. He's actually.
Head ass.
He tried,
Yeah,
he
what's
tried.
up?
We got him, dude.
Head ass. Y'all thought I had muted myself. You can fight me.
Yeah,
Alright.
no.
So, what were we all discussing? Because I heard some when I walked back in the room.
We
So
were
We were talking shit.
Pale thinks DK
I
should get
I hit you with my broken chair,
and
bro.
it
What's up?
thinks it should get
Oh, damn,
executed.
is that nunchucks?
Hey, he's a martial. Actually, I learned something about
This is
Zelly.
some fucking shit, Zelly.
He's a martial artist. He may have nunchucks and he may know how to
He
use them.
does,
So
bro.
you got to be careful with him,
Next
man.
to his-
Probably kill you with one of those clothes hangers behind him, honestly.
If I ever see Zello at TwitchCon,
Kill you with a thumb.
like if you see Zello at TwitchCon,
Like 6 pressure points. He's like, you take 2 steps.
He's like,
You know that fucking nose.
Ooh, if my internet buffer one more time. Okay. Damn, buffering.
Buffering? Are we lagging,
No,
chat?
no, we're good. No, it
just Sally's internet.
I'm getting little spikes here and there, so it buffered. But we're still good. We're still here. We're still here.
We're still rolling.
We're still rolling. All right,
You know
so
what? Cheers.
back to okay. You know, I want to drink my water, so.
I have the hard shit, man. It's
God,
pain
ice
after
and
dark. Man.
everything, man. Damn.
I'm classy when I want to be.
All right, so to the meta changes, not metal. Everything that's been going on. So we were discussing blog groups, and then we're talking about small scale and stuff. What do you guys think about the mag to stam difference in group play now? Everyone is stacking rapid regen since we can no longer stack vigors. Well, I feel like it's kind of counterproductive how they nerfed that and they made rapid regen / mutagen like just heal for so much and just keep everybody alive. Like, what do y'all think about it?
My group, for instance, always leaned on heavy Magicka group play because that was the meta. When I would shift to later gameplay, I would try and do small scale stamina groups. And we would do vigor each other and move around and heal each other and cross heal from vigor. It was way more fun, in my opinion, and more challenging. When they removed the ability to cross heal, and I have tested green vigor and yellow vigor. Yellow vigor is actually doable if you have, I would say, 4 players using it.
That's what.
You got it.
Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
Here, yeah.
That's the number.
Now, if
Got a raid.
you it's not as good as mag, but it's doable, and you got to build into it. I think they should have left it alone, and it was just right with green cross healing. It was in a good spot. I think it definitely encourages magic healing a lot. Unfortunately, I mean, what I was doing was stacking stamina warden a little bit more so because of the spore factor, and it just put out more healing stamina wise. But that's my take on it. I think that Magicka healing is definitely favored for group play versus stam. They should have probably left it originally how it was, and to make it best bang for your buck, probably 4 or more. Which is, if you're doing that, I mean, it definitely limits your group comp. You can't run probably the same comp you'd run normally with the old healing factors that it had.
I mean, I'm not a group player. Like, I haven't played in like an organized group in a while, but from what I notice is that it's kind of a mix of both play styles when it comes to, like, say 24-24. Like, both play styles are utilized in kind of harmony with each other. So obviously your mag inherently is more of a support play style rather than damage, unless you're obviously running like a Nightblade Bomber or something for massive burst. But you need a mix of that support like stamina does. So you'll get your magic attunes to lower them down to that threshold.
VD is really good.
Yeah, VD is good. I mean, if the mag gets a kill, it can kill a lot of people.
Yeah, VD's on every mag DPS.
But you know, you got those stamina
VD's
characters
nuts.
running in if they're dual wield, right? And spinning around just executing all those low targets. So I think a good harmony between the two play styles in a big group setting is what's optimal. And will it be like more one-sided next patch? Maybe, maybe not, because like a lot of the set changes they're doing are like more based towards like single target. You know, there's not a lot of AOE changes, but Proxdet, I'm not Proxdet. VD is getting a buff next patch. Like, so you're getting that explosion damage that's being increased, and you're getting.
I'm excited.
It's going to be cool. Like, it's going to be a good Zerg busting like capability. So it's going to like
That's just gonna
blow
smack.
up a lot of shit.
If you die, you fucking die, and your group dies with you.
Yeah, so it's going to encourage people to spread out, I suppose. Like, I mean, VD already is an encourager to like not be stacked when you're taking a big dump. But like now it's going to be even more punitive if you are stacked.
It's an excellent point.
Maybe you'll survive now if you get hit by a bunch of VDs. Maybe depending on how many of your group members die. But like next patch, I think if your group dies to a bunch of VD, you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dead as fuck.
Which will increase server performance when you're dead. Because
Exactly.
you're not casting abilities.
You're
That
done.
was the whole point.
Oh
All
no!
See you in the afterlife. You're
Let me
done.
say something though.
That's bad.
So, and this might be unpopular. Okay,
There's
so
unpopular
I think
opinions.
I think that it's not necessarily the Magicka heals that are good, like the rapid regens, versus echoing vigors in group. I think it's the utility that Magicka offers because Harmony is really strong and you have Vicious Death as well. And Magicka just does it better with offensive capabilities. Stamina, with the exception of what you said, is execute, right? Dawnbreaker is not going to do much for us. You can run Atro on a stamina necro, but the harmonies or the harmony just I think works better on Magicka. Synergies. So I don't feel like it's like an issue with the healing, like with Echoing Vigor and Mutagen. It's just that the fact that like Magicka just has better options for group PvP because of Harmony and VD and stuff like that than Stamina. So that's why you see more Mutagens as opposed to Echoing Vigors.
Yeah, I think the Radiating Regen or like Mutagen is definitely more effective heal. Like overall, you get more healing potential out of it. But Stamina, it is something you can add to your healing, like as a group too. But Magicka definitely does have that.
It's more precise.
It's stronger.
Echoing Vigor is more precise. The Mutagen, it's just fucking spam that shit. It's pretty easy, dude. It's like mindless, you know.
Well, both are in a sense like it's gonna hit if you.
The range is pretty decent on Echoing Vigor, but you still have to generally
you have to be
close.
You know,
You have to stack, yeah.
You know, Fury and Pain brought off really good points. VD is a big thing for group play. Like when you're fighting, say, two organized guilds, say Leech Mordor versus Behemoth, which is, you know, larger scale groups. Fighting, you know, back and forth, the group that gets that Vicious Death proc first is essentially usually the group that wins because that VD is going to splash and kill 4 or 5 players. And to a group of that sense, those rolls that go down from that VD is going to be the difference of win or lose in those scenarios. So when you have a smaller group, you don't have as much flexibility or band-aid on your group comp. So I think that's probably really
what I
big
kind of miss
thing.
is the old days before VD was in the game. You know, like if anyone did group play back then, it was all about coordinated ult bomb, and you had to get that timing and placement like absolutely correct in order to get those kills. Like now, I mean, if you put your ult down and they could kill some people and then it blow up others, well, yeah, you'll get those kills, but like at the same time, like back then, like you had to like re-coordinate the ults to get the rest of the kills, and I think it took more skill and more like precision in a sense. But back then, we also had a dynamic ult gen, so when you got those kills, you kind of were setting yourself up for the next one already, because you were doing damage not only off your ultimate, like hitting the targets, but from the kills, like returning the ultimate and whatnot. And I just think it was a better gameplay back then. Like it took more strategy and placement and all that. VD, like it kills people and then knocks everybody else around them. And I kind of miss the days back when we had dynamic ult gen, because one, smaller groups would thrive. So if you had a 12-man against like 80, you actually had technically an advantage, because the more DPS you put out onto them is the more ultimate you generated, and they're not generating the same amount of ultimate as you used to. And it just encouraged smaller groups to play and then get out there and fight Zerg on Zerg. And it was way more tactical, because if you did make that crucial mistake, your group would fail. But if you're very careful and planned everything correctly, like you would literally take on those 80 people like there was nothing.
Yeah.
Timing and positioning.
It was great. Like I don't know if anyone in the chat was back around when No Mercy was guild, or Alacrity. Oh shit! What other guilds were there? Fucking even Behemoths was around back then too.
But that changed.
It really did. Like 1.6 was a good patch.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
You weren't there. Oh, well, you died. Kiri, you need to call. your electric
When it-
provider.
All right, hold on.
It's
Hold
my
on,
cam.
chat. I'm pulling a Kiri. All right, what's
know
up,
what?
guys? Kirimoto
Hold
here.
up, hold up. If we're all doing this, one second.
Kirimoto here, guys.
Oh shit!
There we go.
Kirimoto here, guys. Kirimoto here.
I was a mark.
I still have
What did I just walk into? What the fuck is this? Everyone's out of their chairs.
I'm
like-
a floating head, bro. Podcast after dark.
Get cozy.
Right.
Get nice and cozy.
Who said we can't have fun?
Yeah. Imagine like having a bunch of chads in one chat and not having fun, bro.
All right. Where were we? I got thrown off.
was
I
talking
actually
about
got
dynamic-
thrown
I was
off.
talking about the dynamic. I was being a boomer in the ESO. That's pretty much what happened.
I think I joined ESL right after the patch of Dynamic Old Gen.
Back in my day.
You missed out.
was
brother.
born
You
in
missed
the-
out. Yeah, back in my day, we had dynamic old gen, and we would kill Zergs with ground oils. The days,
Damn,
chat.
dude.
Anyone who was around back then knows. All right, what's next?
All right.
What's next?
Okay, so we went over group play. We went over how we feel about the classes in solo. I'm pretty sure everybody understands what the good classes are for group play. Like as in like how Magical Warden is better group play versus Magical Warden being solo type shit. Do we really talk about that at all? Do we need to talk about it? I don't really think we
everyone
need
has
to.
the
Everyone kind of has the
Yeah.
idea, yeah. It's like Maggie K is a lot better than group than solo.
Mobility, man. That's the equation. It's part of the formula.
True.
Let me...
We kind of went over mobility though.
In group, yeah, it's not only mobility. Like bigger groups, it's what you can bring to the table in terms of ultimate and utility. Like
Yeah,
mobility
comes-
starts getting less and less. That's why you see more Magicka. But when you're talking about 1vx, it's mobility. When you're talking about bigger group PvP, it's like ulti and utility. When you're talking about like 1v1, mobility doesn't even matter.
It's not a factor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. That's why Stamsork, which has the highest mobility, you don't see it in 1v1s, at least not this patch.
I mean, we got a couple of Chad Stamsorks out there, like Static Wave, who's always showing up and putting out work.
I need to use the restroom real quick. I'm the only one that hasn't.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm just shitting my pants right here, man. I don't know what you're talking about. You
Could have
didn't hear
synced it.
that. Yeah. I just had my mic muted. I wasn't even embarrassed myself.
I will say, there was this whenever the last patch notes for Greymoor were
Oh,
released,
true.
I was watching Fenrish's review of the patch notes, and he did bring up a good topic about healing in group PvP, and it's about layering heals, which can help server performance. So I think he proposed, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like he like drops a review of the patch notes usually every time the PTS comes out, and it's he said that there should be only one mutagen, only one morph of the mutagen, rapid regen, or the other morph, and same thing with all the other heals on you at the same time. But you can only have one.
So, like,
But so then, wouldn't that kind of take away the whole point of stacking the Echoing Vigor, though?
Yeah, that would, but that would be a like an angle that you can take instead of reducing
Yeah.
the overall healing from
I
combat from combat spirit, and it doesn't have to be exactly that way. Maybe you can have two, but it's
Yeah.
less like calculations that you have to do, and they can still be strong heals. Maybe increase the heals on them. Maybe increase the heals on
Okay.
Echoing Vigor, like the overall heal, AOE heal, but you can only have one. You know,
Okay.
like, but it's less server.
I see what he's saying, though. I
It
see
helps
what
the
he's
server.
saying. Yeah.
it would help the
Because
server.
you don't have 5 rapid regens on you, and on top of the echoings and stuff like that. You have only one of each, and maybe around the same healing if you increase the healing of the AOE. But it's less server calculations.
That's pretty.
That would kind of screw the dueling community, though. If
Wait,
like
why?
echoing, Well, if they were using vigor and increasing
No,
heals
no,
a bit.
have it so only the AOE part of the
Yeah.
ability.
Oh, you're talking about the separate morph, right?
Echoing Vigor, yeah.
Mhm.
The one that heals
So-
AOE.
I thought you were talking about the one that applies. To
I think
just
that's
the
what
one
Fengrush said. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that was a
I
part
didn't
of it,
see
and I
all
kind of
of
agreed
Fang's
with that.
BTS review. I caught like I think the midsection
They're
of it.
pretty long. And they're lengthy, so you gotta grab your bowl of popcorn and a cozy
the
chair.
thing about the patch note, like if there's one thing I can say about the patch notes in general is I think each patch shouldn't have so much content into it in terms of like set changes and all this. Like especially this one. This one was extra weird because if you look at a lot of these set changes, like how like stupid was some of the changes, like how minuscule was like some of the changes. Like we look at fucking Crafty Elfique, like one of them was like, okay, it's changing the magicka by like 50 magicka. Like
Did they explain that? Was there a reason behind that?
I think they're trying to like round out numbers, so like when like sets are on a person, it's like calculating different things, but
Yeah.
I don't truly believe like that's gonna really make an impact, you know? Like it's just so many set changes were so minuscule that it didn't really matter. Like burning
it
spell
doesn't
buff
bother
by
me.
30 points. Like it doesn't bother me, but like it's just a lot of extra things that like really don't need to be there. It seemed like they were doing a lot of busy work for some reason. I don't know. Like
Okay.
what's the point? I don't see the purpose of changing a set if you're not gonna like make it either like a kind of like larger impact or a smaller impact. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It seems like a lot of resources being wasted where they should be put to like other things, you know? Because like how many people did they have on those sets that just had really no difference, like no difference whatsoever? Maybe that work could have been put to something else that would have something more some more meaningful like value out of it. And I don't know. They just need to like when they do PTS notes, they need to like have like more like a smaller list of things that change, just so like when the players go to the PTS and starts testing things, they can figure out what those changes are, what's fucked up. Because how many times do we get all these drops of content, and then we can't get time to test everything, and then the next thing you know, the server goes live, and then we find something really ridiculously broken that never was even found in the PTS, and then it's on the live server. And then guess what? Now we're dealing with that for we're dealing with that for 3 months now. You know, we're stuck with it until maybe next patch, if they even choose to address it, which isn't always the case.
I think it's just the way the cookie crumbles because you have ESO on consoles and you can only have patches that big every certain period of time, and that's the time that they chose. And naturally, you would try to sync up the consoles with the PC with the consoles to have them run the same patches. You don't want like you'll have a little 2-week delay, but still it's about the same. I think that's why they do it, right?
Maybe.
I mean, it'd be nice.
What I'm trying to say, I'd rather get more out of less than like less out of like more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like it's just like too much extra things being thrown.
It's also less variables, so you can test if it's really what you're changing. Is it making an impact? I'll make an argument. If, for example, if empowering sweep they felt like was overperforming, then change empowering sweep, and to try to fix the class, right? But if you nerf empowering sweep in addition to all these other things that you've already nerfed, it's really hard because you have a bunch of different variables. Like empowering sweep might have been overperforming, but maybe if you change power light and burning light and what's the other thing that changed? The amount of time it takes to jab, all of these other nerfs, maybe then the class won't be overperforming with empowering sweep. Does that make sense? You're changing too many things at once for too many variables for you to create a good like experiment. That's part of like I think that's part of the
saying. Yeah. Like,
yeah, it's part of the scientific method. You want to have a control, and you don't want to change too many things at once.
Precisely. And I like how the Pale Orc's name changed to the Pale Chair, and like I don't think Pale Orc.
I forgot to change it back. We went to go use the restroom.
I saw the chat talking about it.
I'm the Chad chair.
You know what, Pale?
Guys.
Just get out of the chair, walk up left and right, and you're golden.
Pale chair. This chair is not pale, dude.
Yeah, it's dark as night.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting though. What do you guys think about? Kind of slightly off topic, but still on the set topic. We didn't really go over a lot of the set changes. What do you guys think about changes to like example, mechanical acuity? Instead of it having a chance that's going to proc, it's just gonna proc now.
Yeah,
It's like burning spell weave. I don't know if scathing got the change. I know Briarheart did. So instead of having a chance of it procking, as soon as you do a critical damage, it procs. Do y'all think that's?
I think there should be requirements, even though it has a cooldown, like inherently.
Mm-hmm.
There should be another factor that initiates that set the hit, because it's just, and again, it's just enabling more of a proc matter. Because, like, at least right now, procs require you to do something, even when the cooldown is over, to like reinitiate that proc.
Yeah.
Now it's just going to happen inherently, which means more procs on like 100% uptime as soon as it's over with. So let's just say 8 seconds passes and now like your set's ready to go. It's going to happen no matter what. Like there's no like maybe 1 to 2 second buffer, but maybe it doesn't proc in that one moment. But now it's just going to happen no matter what. And I think that's, again, dumbing down the gameplay, encouraging more like silly sets to be shoot out at you and then hit you for like this ridiculous amount of damage that's about to come onto the game. And I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think it's kind of silly.
So you used what? Did they change burning spellweave?
They did.
They
so
nerfed the damage a little bit, but as soon as you hit flame damage, it now procs.
100% uptime.
Yep.
So you actually disagree with that change then?
I do, because I mean, okay, burning spellweave may be an exception here because now BSW will be more eligible for other classes to use like regularly. Because Mag Decay, like you can proc burning no matter what as long as you hit burning embers. You have a 100% chance to hit your burning no matter what. So if your downtime was up, you just hit burning embers and then bam, instant proc of BSW, like off cooldown no matter what. So I think it's kind of cool that like now other classes can utilize BSW more frequently. But like I'm looking at some of these stamina like sets that require like when you critically melee hit someone, it's gonna do this or whatever. Like now you don't even have to have that critical chance, which means not only like you can run Malacath Band because you no longer require a crit, it's gonna apply the Malacath Band to that crit set, and then you're good. You know, you just there's another proc set that may not have been utilized because you're running a Malacath build, and that proc set's getting buffed by the crit, like Kiri was mentioning earlier. So that fucking proc set is gonna experience like critical damage, like numbers in a sense. That was kind of a mouthful, and I'm sorry that kind of sounded weird, but
From what I know, it's from the example how like to proc scathing and Briarheart. It still requires you. It's not just all damage. It still requires you to have a crit hit. So you can't stack that with Malacath. You wouldn't be able to.
Right, but they're getting rid of like the requirement for you to hit that critical hit. So they're just saying if you hit someone, you're gonna activate that proc set, making it more viable for Malacath Ring to be applied to that build with that set.
Okay, so what I was thinking is that I thought it was like it still requires you to get a critical hit, and that it doesn't have an RNG proc from the critical hit itself, because before it used to be like, oh, when you critical hit, you have a chance to blah blah blah. So you're already relying on the critical hit RNG, and then you have another RNG on top of it. They're getting rid of both. I thought they were just getting rid of the
some sets are getting rid of both. Some are getting rid of critical and
that's nuts.
It's like the critical. So like the Malacath is going to apply to that set now. Like it's now another proc set
that's
going to be viable Malacath Ring, making it do more DPS. There's a lot of stamina sets that do that. If you read the patch notes, like they're just saying, okay, we're removing the critical chance requirement for this set.
That's actually.
Yeah, it is nutty. Like I was looking at that shit, and I was just like, I wanted to fucking pound my big forehead into my keyboard. And I was like, shit. Well, time that you know what? I'm gonna be like Deltia. You know how Deltia buried his Templar in the backyard? I'm gonna bury my Maggie in the backyard. I was
gonna swap off Templar anyway for the next patch.
You don't stop lying.
No, I was. I mean, it's not even that viable in group PvP. Let's be real.
It really isn't.
For starters, right? And then on top of that, where it shines is usually like duels and a solo, and they're already nerfing it there too. I'm just like, I just might as well go to a better, like Stam Necro or Stamina Warden.
The fucking meta, you know, Stam Necro, you can't go wrong, honestly.
No cast time, by the way.
Yeah, nothing. You know, why would we nerf the class that you have to pay for? Why would we do that, Chad?
Give that money.
Didn't want to go there.
Man, you know what? You want a skill that snares, defiles, and does a lot of damage? Sign me up, bros. Damn Necromancer. Let's do it.
They did. I did see that they mentioned the fact that they're adding a spammable for Stam Sword.
They did. That actually is kind of a cool idea.
So that looked pretty
Yo,
cool.
Crystal Blade low-key strong as fuck. I was watching, I was in chat with Jordan and some of the other people there, and sometimes it would proc for like 6k, and it's procking like 6k on a good player. Imagine how hard that's gonna hit against the low resistance
10k plus.
hugs that we see in Cyrodiil. Holy shit. And then Static Wave had a build where he had 39k HP. And he bopped somebody that had 26k HP. I don't know what all he stacked, but the dude went from 26k to literally like 1k, and the video ended right there. But the dude got hit for 26,000 damage in like a half second, stacking Crystal Blade and I think Imbue weapon and the daggers, dude. It was disgusting. And all he had to do was steal NATO.
90k right now. Fuck it.
Bro,
Let's do it.
It is insane. It's nuts. Good change for Stam Sword.
It's a good
Damn,
change.
that shit hits hard, though. That shit hits hard.
D-swing is not reliable.
D-swing is booty, bro.
It's not reliable.
I missed the old D-swing, and even then, it was still bad in lag, especially. Versus good players, they just block it or roll dodge it. It was just weird.
Standard whip.
They added Stonefist as far as spammable for Stam DK, but that's just a meme.
Yeah, it's fucking
both of you DKs, I want to hear what you guys. I mean, if you could make Stonefist viable, what do you think they should add? Yeah, because that's something that they're trying to do, right?
What would you do?
We have a mag and Stam DK. What do you guys? I mean, do you have any insight?
They should just rework the whole skill to not even be like a damage skill. They should make it like some kind of like I'm like buff at this point because they've changed that thing so many times and it's changed like from a random stun to like fucking Avatar, the Last Airbender to like where the fuck it is now. Like I don't even know what the like think of Stonefist. Like I'm shooting fucking rocks out of my hand. Like I don't know if that's DK identity. Like
make it the stamina whip.
I think what they should do.
Make it a stamina fucking spammable. That's not like something you have to hit 3 times in a row to like do something.
Or to work.
Make it a true melee ability. Make it a true melee ability. Make it where you have to be up close, like whip, but it's got like a 0.9 or 0.7 cast time similar to D-swing, where it's not exactly instant, but it's close to instant. Like me, for instance, as a Stam DK, I switched my spammable for rendering slash with Master Bleeds versus D-swing using Fossilize for a hard CC. That I feel like works better than the D-swing because it's a lot less reliable. So if you can cast 2 rendering slashes successfully in the same time of D-swing's cast, which is just shy of a second, it's more reliable. You know what I mean? So if they took Stonefist and made it similar to rendering slash, where it's more upfront, but maybe not too OP, because D-swing gives you off balance. Maybe make it the spammable so it doesn't give you off balance, but make it
Is it CC?
D-swing or
fist?
Fist, I think CC's on like the third.
The third
hit,
cast,
right?
the third cast CCs, I believe.
Third cast, so knock them down.
So maybe make it. I don't know. It stacks. They did like a weird stack thing where like it accumulates damage. I experimented with it, but I just didn't like it. I felt like it was easily to like just for your enemy to see what you're doing for one. Unreliable, and the damage was just like noodly.
It wasn't worth it.
I'm just like it's not.
And that's the skill they put so much work into. Like all the DK skills. Like for some reason, Stonefist always appears up in the patch notes, minus this one. It's just always something in Stonefist, and it's always a running joke when the DK.
What if they just made it like a punch?
I don't know.
Punch.
I don't think they want to change the animation.
Punch someone, you know, like
my fucking arm turns a fucking gets jacked like the Hulk. You know what I mean? Turns.
Literally, fucking just take the Pale Orc's biceps,
head, you know,
put it on the DK, and wax them. That would be sick.
It's my spammable.
You should go to the ZOS headquarters so they can just green screen your arm, Pale, and just add you as the Stonefist. I think that would be the best change. I'd actually run it. You know, even on my Mag DK, I'd run it just because I got Pale Orcs on. Fuck it.
Make it a free cast ability that's a punch, bro.
Yeah.
Like a falcon punch.
Like a bitch.
He goes,
you know what I mean?
Legendary, dude.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Be cool as shit.
But it requires like
Damn.
10 bicep curls before you
That's
20 bicep curls before you can use it, you know.
Damn,
like that.
dude.
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
and it would stack with corrosive too, so there you go, bro. It's easy.
Oh,
See?
dude. Shit.
All right, hire us. We're good.
Yeah, you see, this is your new
All right,
developer
podcast is
toolkit.
over. I think we covered.
I'm out.
We've come to a conclusion.
I'm leaving.
We've solved the game. We've solved the,
Solved
lag
the
problem
game.
of this game. Who knew? Who would have thought? It's
There-
adorable how
Damn.
obsessed they
Just,
are with biceps.
Have it ban you from the server, so that way it'll be a server performance
Every-
upper as well. So Cyrodiil slowly gets lower. If you get hit by a Stonefist, you just get banned.
Yeah, that'd be good. Just the fucking band hammer. Oh, Jesus. The memes, bro. The memes.
Oh, no.
I love it.
One
All
other
right.
thing that's completely random I wanted to trace on just quickly was faction state. I'm noticing a lot of players on different factions quite a bit, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. One is the fact that they're trying to find fights. Two, maybe people want to play in the stronger faction. I mean, DC, for instance, I play DC, and the guilds are just slim to none. You know, you got Glade in Greyhost. You have all the ball groups there from EP and AD just farming blue pugs for hours. You know, and it's because they don't have an organized guild to show up there and ulti dump them. That's organized and calm. So that's shit that you run into. I think there's a lot of unbalance going on in a lot of the campaigns right now with the factions. So I don't really know what they could do with that. It's just, I think
That's
it's one of the
player
major
issue.
problems in Cyrodiil right now.
I think that's a community issue. That's not something ZeniMax
And you
can.
see players on AD, you see players on fucking EP, they're on DC, they're all over the place. So it's like, you know, what is the reason for that? And I don't think really see anything we can do anything to control it.
For situations like that, man, I think they need to give more incentive for players to either like not really be faction loyalists, but they need to reward people for being on a faction that put in work. Because let's be real, no one gives a damn about the leaderboards. Who cares about the actual campaign scoring? Who cares about that? When I go into Cyrodiil, I go in to try to get a good fight. And if I'm getting points at the same time, cool. Who cares? Like that, cool. That's just a plus. But when I go in there, I want to go in there to fuck everybody else up. But I do agree with what Pale Orc has been saying, because me being DC as well, and honestly, mid-year kind of burned me out, so I'm taking it easy. But the few times I've been in Cyrodiil, live streaming, trying to solo, trying to duo, etc., DC doesn't even have keeps.
See,
The past few
Zelly
times,
plays DC. Zelly plays only DC.
dude, the past
Like
few
me.
times I've been gated, and I would run to the rails or something, and I would get zerged by like 40 people.
And bang.
Where's the fun?
Where's
Where's the fun?
Get him.
PainInTheAxe, I think you're kind of obligated to defend the Covenant because you have that thing behind you.
Yeah, man, where you at?
No, here, hold on. Let me show you what I think of the cover.
What thing?
Not you. No.
It says Daggerfall Covenant on it.
Honestly, dude, like,
What is that?
Listen.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
listen, faction doesn't mean shit. Because, like, honestly, all the factions are all the fucking same. Because the only reason why certain groups get absolutely fucking dumpstered at certain times, because there's just there's no fucking groups on. Like, that's a community fucking problem, honestly.
Yeah. I
Like,
agree,
they need to fucking group up and want to learn how to do that higher level of group play and fucking go out there and fucking slap face and do the shit.
Cyrodiil has very inconsistent time lapses for group play. It really does. It's all over the place.
It does.
You know, we log in prime time. A lot of times we have no keeps, and then another night we'll log in and it's normal. It's crazy, dude. It's so inconsistent.
ZeniMax wants people to care about campaign score. How about you give me more than fucking 30k
Give us
gold and
incentive.
some random
Right.
garbage
Incentive.
ass gold,
Like that.
garbage
dude,
fucking
100%.
gold rings that
Incentive.
have no value, maybe 20k each. Like, maybe I'll get a fucking spell strat gold ring that sells for 100. Give me something that will make me want to care about the campaign score.
Incentive.
Like, literally, I can make over 1 million gold in a fucking day if I wanted to.
I know what they
By
can
doing
give you.
50 or less. Just
I
give
know
me
what they can give you.
something.
These hands.
Nope. And this is serious. This is serious, Sally.
All right.
Just how there is Sigic Ambrosias that increase your XP, by 100%,
To do for AP.
150%. If they exactly,
Go for
if they
AP.
can give you some type of scroll that gives you double AP for an hour,
Like, what's
or
the cost?
something
Like,
in that,
And have it stacked
vicinity,
with Meteor, for
As-
example.
as a reward for winning the campaign.
so you just get 1 hour of free XP for the whole
It doesn't
month,
have to be.
or like-
It doesn't have to be 1 hour. It doesn't have to be one scroll, and it doesn't have to be double. But you get the idea.
Like, what if you
Just
homed a certain
something
campaign,
something
you just get,
purchasable.
like,
If
maybe
you guys
50%
win
more
and you were
XP for
top,
a month or what? Like, I don't know.
but,
just-
like, well, I mean, we can debate on like how much they should give you, but you know that we can come up with a number. But I mean, that's an idea, right? Just like
It's-
scrolls that give you
it's-
double AP
Your
or
faction
more
would
AP
get a perk
as an
You're-
incentive.
right. So that'll be an incentive to win the campaign because essentially you're gaining more income.
I suppose, yeah. Maybe like, I don't know. Something,
I-
just something unique.
What about like
Yeah, housing item. Yeah, how do we do
More,
housing?
more cosmetics for Cyrodiil, please. Thank you.
leaderboard?
Grand
Give me-
Overlord cosmetics, please.
Yes, Geo. There we go. I don't want no damn scroll
All
in my
these
house.
Grand overlords in the chat, man. Like, I'm-
A freaking die that looks exactly like the brass bronze die, or
Right.
whatever it's called. I need something. I need a
Yeah, my
helmet.
Grand
I need
Overlord die is not that cool. Okay?
exactly. That's what I
It's
mean.
harder
It's
to
not.
get
Kinda-
Grand Overlord than it was to get Emperor, and that's
That
fucked up.
give us the maul. Just how you gave everyone the mace of Moloch Ball. Give us like a style, a weapon style for like a two-handed or a staff.
Dude,
that
that'd be
says,
sick.
I'm a Geo or I have a Geo.
It needs
That'd
to
be cool.
it needs to be a
Chat.
full overall like outfit style, like with all the weapons for Geo. Can
I
you
don't know.
imagine that? I think that would
that
be sick.
far.
That would be
I
sick.
was trying to make it easy. but
Nah, it make it easy. Do not just reward the people
Doesn't
that
have
sit
to be
there
easy.
and no life the game like that, bro. Like, come on, they deserve it.
Hey, Zell, you got a dab.
I got a dab. Oh,
Yeah. There you go.
got you, homie. Daddy's little fox.
I'm telling you, man. If you want to get PvEers and PvP,
Housing.
add some type of crafting or bullshit, whatever, into Cyrodiil that you can only get in Cyrodiil, dude.
Yeah, it should be
You know what I
something
mean? Like,
like
think about Mid-Year Mayhem and all these events that they have, or double Telvar. It brings so much attention to be like some of the best fights you have is usually in Imperial City, man. It's just crazy fights in there, awesome fights. So if you can find incentive in both IC and PvP to get people in there, whether it be crafting or gear or something that they need to use, like for instance, like 30 days ago, I noticed that there was a big spike in deadly items to sell in PvE. So I got 45 million AP or whatever. I'll fucking buy a shitload of deadly, sell it, and I made like a bunch of gold off it. You know what I mean? So if they could find more incentive in that manner, where I think a lot of PvE is interested in income, dude. They're interested in just income, man. There's so much more money and shit involved in PvE than PvP. I would say most PvP players are probably broke because they're fucking using
Can't
potions
relate.
that require
Yeah.
Columbine shit like that. It's not rewarding PvP. It's literally just for your own damn pleasure. You know?
Exactly.
PvP is more income. It's way more perks in that area of just like financially and just like gear gain wise, achievement wise.
And they can just buy the
Very
PvE. They can just buy PvP sets. They don't even have to step into Cyrodiil.
Yep.
you don't
Like, can we talk about that?
They
Like,
drop bigger, like to you could literally
Yeah.
The
kill
first
3
one.
people and get
and they
vigor.
made it the first. They made it the first skill now.
PvEers
Now
in
they're
chat.
gonna
I'm
bitch
sorry,
about
but y'all about
rapids.
to get roasted.
Why is there bind on it? But why is there bind on pickup sets in dungeons and trials, but there is no such thing in PvP?
because snowflakes and beta mentality.
Like, why do we as PvPers why are we forced to PvE but not vice versa? I mean, for a longer experience, a longer window of time, like to get vigor, that's all they have to do, and especially now, it's not going to take that long. Especially not having to farm multiple dungeon sets for PvP.
I mean, I'd be all about that. Yeah, bind on pickup. Like,
See, I personally
worthy
think
of it.
for the people that sit here and PvP our asses off, I think they should just have a purchasable way by AP to buy these dungeon sets. I think it'd be
Yeah.
okay. I think it'd be alright.
It's only fair because
it's fair.
PvEers
Like, yeah.
can do it,
Yeah.
so we should do it, right?
I agree, Sully. That's a really good point.
I agree. I mean, people are gonna say like we have the gold vendor, but like maybe apply that gold vendor to not just fucking rings and jewelry. Like,
But you can buy it with gold. You don't. It doesn't have to be AP.
AP or gold. It's like let's just throw it in fucking like armor sets too, like body pieces. You know. Let's see that.
I'd fuck with it. Like a whole weekend on top of the golden they give us the whole 7-piece of bone pirate, all body pieces, for example, stuff like that. I'd be okay with it. It swaps every weekend, even if it's rare because it's every Saturday and it switches. We might not get the set we want. It's still more incentive to get AP to PvP.
Make some fucking currency out of
We need vendors of some sort that are
What
worth
do you
it.
guys think about more mid-year mayhem or mid-year mayhem happening more frequently?
Yes, maybe I think it should be quarterly.
It doesn't have to be the same
I was
extent
gonna
with
say
all
quarterly.
the servers. I was gonna say
Quarterly.
every like big performance patch, which is quarterly, right?
Yep, it
Roughly,
should be.
yeah.
Every 3-4
4
months.
times
Yeah.
a year.
Oh,
Because like one thing we were supposed to
wait.
talk about, which we didn't though, was the performance of mid-year mayhem this year. Did Kiri die again?
Oh, I was licking pain. No one saw it.
Oh shit. Oh god, I'm seeing it now. Fuck, I'm just watching the stream back. Ugh. This guy, bro, I'm being harassed. Chat. I need to call Gina Bruno. Hold on, I got her. One second. No, I'm kidding.
No answering calls on the job, Pain.
Oh, this is a job now? Well, fuck, I didn't even know. Shit! Yeah, fuck, dude.
Hey, back, dude, come on, man.
God damn. I love it here.
Call her later, dude. Come on, bro.
But one thing, like, what do you guys think of performance of mid-year mayhem this year? Me personally, I didn't spend a lot of time in Grey Host. I spent most of my time in Imperial City or like the
Zero
various
time in
other
Grey Host.
campaigns.
Exactly.
What do you guys think about those campaigns? Like the ones that actually fucking mattered. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Oh,
You guys have a good time?
So in my experience during mid-year, it's where the time where my guild actually will get together and we'll try to run 12-man raids. We will always check the lower pop campaigns, which of course aren't going to have a lot of lag, but being 100% honest, the first like week or so when I went into Cyrodiil, it was bad for us. It was terrible. And then if we try to run a group like that, like my experience, I don't know if it differs from Pale Orc, someone that is like, you know, in the main campaign all the time. But when I went in there, this mid-year was honestly the worst experience I've had PvP-wise in years. And I love mid-year. And it's not even just the lag. It's just how many servers they added that had nobody in there. And instead of adding everyone, putting it together into like the main servers, they added 5 PvP servers. Everybody was spread. So even if I wanted to run my 12-man raid, I couldn't find fights. I made like 2 more AP this mid-year because it was dog shit. And when I went into Cyrodiil in Grey Host, dude,
why would you?
I could not find fights. I'm over here watching Kiri on AD, and this man is fighting every like 10 minutes, getting like 200k ticks. And I'm like, dude, you know how hard I have to work for 200k? I'm running across the map looking for fights and I get nothing. I swear to God, my guild was the unluckiest guild ever this campaign.
So,
it was boo boo.
Have you ever heard of
it was
getting good?
It was boo boo. All right, damn.
play issue.
It was boo boo.
All right, load out.
God damn.
Have you ever heard of Siege?
The
Have you ever heard of
performance.
Siege?
Yes.
Who's next?
Bro,
I'll be last.
fuck this year, mid-year, bro.
So Zell is pissed off. Who's next?
I'm mad about it. Yeah.
Mad. He's
I was gonna grind for GL and I get 2 mil AP and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go play Apex. I'll see y'all later. I dipped out.
The only GO you got was go fuck yourself. Actually,
His GL is just get over it, bro.
it doesn't make sense, bro. Like this.
I'm smiling, guys. I'm smiling, but I'm crying on the inside, chat. Okay, I'm actually crying. All right, I wanted a 5-star.
I'll be last, but who's next? You're Kiri. You're Pale or Kiri. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We got ladies first, so. Oh wait, never mind. Pale Orc wants to go. Never mind. All right.
Ladies first.
Wait, Pale Orc is down here for me. You pointed over there.
I'm looking at the Discord and then I'm looking at what's on stream. I'm sorry.
Too, honestly, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You're above me, Kiri.
All right, it had its moments. All right, my group runs thick. Mid-year mayhem, we had a pretty large volume. We definitely shifted the campaigns. I spent a small amount of time in Grey Host. To be honest with you, Grey Host unplayable at all hours. Really, I didn't even bother trying to go in there. I did have a lot of great fights in Imperial City. Definitely
City was lit.
Imperial City. Blackreach was probably the main campaign I played in. Blackreach was pretty good. My guild's running pretty organized, you know, in voice comm, blah blah blah, the whole deal. So I mean, we got some pretty crazy ticks, over 200,000 at some defense keeps. So I mean, it was
Pog.
Yeah, I made over 10 million AP this mid-year. I made a shitload of AP. But I run an organized raid, and we ran it pretty much every night almost, and we ran for several hours. And we are on the faction where it's okay. I got a 24 man, right? That's considered a Zerg. But now, if you're in the main campaign in Mid-Year Mayhem, is it really a Zerg when you're versus 100 fucking players?
Factions, yeah.
Faction stack versus my group alone in a keep.
Emperors, Volendrungs.
Not really, you know what I mean? So we had some pretty crazy fights, and ultimately, the performance in Blackreach, myself and my guild included, thought the performance in there was really good compared to Greyhost. We just don't know what's going on with Greyhost.
Blackreach was amazing.
Poplock.
Blackreach,
It's Poplock, man.
Blackreach was amazing.
What's probably going on is Blackreach's population is probably lower Poplock than it is in Greyhost. That's what I think, personally. It just seems that way, because why would Greyhost perform like that, Poplock, versus, you know, say...
Was Blackreach Poplocked?
Blackreach Poplocked across, better performance. So
Yeah, but there's two different types of Poplocks. There's Poplock, normal, and then there's the one with the Q, yeah, and then one of them had a Q. So even if you're Poplock, that doesn't mean you're actually,
True.
you know, at max. Once you get max, then you start getting Qs.
I was told generally, you know, averagely rather, DC had a pop block of 50 at average on primetime Friday and Saturday night, and EP and AD had over 100 Q normally. EP had over 150 Q for Greyhost. That is.
There's other campaigns.
Friday and Saturday. That's crazy.
The 7-day campaign
Queue for that long.
The 7-day campaign.
Raid in a different campaign, bro. Raid in a different campaign. You're gonna sit there in 150 queue for an hour for a potential chance to get a load screen A or crash and then sit in queue again. Fuck.
It's called Papegaism, Pale. It's called being a Papega.
Read out
fucking intellectual thought.
Why stack in this fucking
I see some Papegas in the chat.
campaign? I mean, we played around in multiple campaigns. I would say Blackreach was pretty lit. I mean, it had its moments. Greyhost, if you're gonna go there, I mean, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time. Generally, I'm sorry, but it's just the truth.
Kiri, I think you're up, boss.
There you go, Kiri.
I steer,
AD scumbag. There
it's
you go.
a pretty common trend to steer clear of Greyhost, and so doing that, like anytime my group decided to, and we group PvP'd almost every day. There was a few times where we didn't, for the most part, and I have to agree with Pell. The performance in the non-Greyhost campaigns was not that bad. It was like, it was playable, which makes me pretty happy that we could actually have some PvP. Unfortunately, whenever it started getting a little bit later, past prime time, and you couldn't find fights, kind of like what Zelly was experiencing in any non-Greyhost campaign, that's where it starts becoming a problem, because you can't go into Greyhost yet. So you just kind of have to tell everyone, okay, there's no fights in Blackreach or whatever the campaign is that's not like that just died, but Greyhost is still popping, Poplock completely with Qs. All right, guys, let's take a break and come back in 1 hour or something like that. Hopefully by then, Greyhost will. That's what you have to do, unfortunately, because there's no fights in the other campaigns, and the only one that's still popping is the Greyhost that's completely unplayable still. And so you have to try to come back whenever it's playable, whenever people start leaving or going to bed or whatever. And unfortunately, that's a situation that we kept facing towards the later part of our PvP. But I will say, whenever we did find fights in the non-Greyhost campaigns, it was a lot of fun.
Those were amazing.
And including Imperial City. And that's why I think I think something that would help would be what Zelly said, is reduce the amount of campaigns that there are.
Icy was amazing, by the way. I really wanted to say
Yeah,
that.
Icy was a
Imperial
lot of
City
fun.
PvP was the shit. Imperial City and Blackreach was the shit. I will say, after mid-years, they already moved out the other campaigns, right? So even after mid-year, we still have all this super bad lag that ruins group morale. That's how bad it is. What do you guys think that they should do about the pop in Greyhost? Because I had a bud just kind of brought up the topic. He doesn't play ESL as much as he used to, and he definitely plays it super casual now because of how the state is, and he barely goes into open world now because of how bad Greyhost is. So Greyhost obviously is almost always laggy. Do you guys think they should just overall reduce the population, like that can get inside Greyhost?
That's too strong hand. Incentives.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Incentives is what I would say. Just how there's low pop incentive and you get more AP. Not necessarily for low population, but whenever Greyhost is seeing a huge influx of players, but the other campaigns are not, incentivize other people to go to the other campaigns. Unfortunately, there can be an argument made for players who like more the lore of the Alliance War and say that they want to be loyal to a certain campaign and want to stay on those leaderboards and eventually go for Emperor. I can see an argument made for that, but I think we're at a point where we're in desperate need. We're crying out for help that there needs to be fights in these other campaigns that are not the main one, because otherwise you're either gonna go into this lag fest, everyone's gonna have a bad time, or you're not gonna have a time at all because there's no PvP in the other campaigns. So if you can find a way to incentivize people to go to the quote unquote dead campaigns, kind of like a low pop incentive that there is now, then that could be a possible solution to look into.
Yeah, just something different.
Yeah, I do like the more incentive standpoint. Give people a reason to join these more dead campaigns, and not just fucking low pop bonus either. Like there needs to be something. They need to add something to give people a real reason to go in there and cap the keeps and get fights essentially.
I agree.
I don't know what they could necessarily do though, but needs to be something done because I hate going into Greyhost like almost whenever, unless it's like 4 a.m. in the morning and I'm fighting, you know, the whole different side of PvPers where we don't really see, you know, that us being awake at this time we don't really know about, you know.
Yeah, I'm not like you, Lord Zell. I'm not a night owl.
I'm a night owl right now, bro. Sleeping at like 7 a.m. in the morning, dude.
My mid-year mayhem experience was absolutely fantastic. I know.
That's good to hear.
Negative Nancy. Good to hear. You know why? You know why my mid-year was
only one.
Boys? You know why it was? Because I spend like about 80% of it in Imperial City. And I gotta say, there was a lot of fucking idiots. A lot of idiots in Imperial City that were waiting to be taken advantage of, man. I made bank. Like,
you know what was awesome
I don't even
too?
care about AP. What's up?
Scrying. The fact that you have to go to Imperial City to get the little thing.
You go to the boss spawns. You know the boss spawns, all the PvEers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Fucking free pickings, my man.
It's just a formula for a good time.
Literally, I 3-starred both my Mag DK, so I changed my blue Mag DK to an Ordinary Dominion, just so I can run a Niska and like Kieran. Shut the fuck you, Pale.
Good PvP. Good PvP.
Pale, you want to talk shit? I can bring up her fucking 1v1 the other day, so take it easy, Chip. Take it easy.
Let me go.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy.
Hold up.
Oh, that's a low blow.
Up to a random 1v1, lose the first time, then
you know why?
change my build to win.
I changed my build, right? I didn't know swapping one skill was changing the build, Pale. I didn't know that changing one skill was changing the whole build.
I'm with a Templar.
Y'all want to talk about groups? I will say it was fun shitting on that 80 group with Kiri and Zanini and them, dude. All of y'all mag stacking, bro. Y'all get bodied. That's all I'm saying.
You know what, mate? I came out of that event with like over
1v1 question mark
2 million Telva, you know, and I can afford giveaways for days now. And like I made both my Mag DKs 3-star, and I ran that Thrashian Mag DK out in Imperial City. So I get out there, I kill those NPCs, get that 20 stack, and I was literally killing kids for 15k leap right into a 3-stack fucking whip for like easily over 30k damage. Just drop it.
Yo, after you kill someone, whisper them thanks for the Thrasian stat, kid.
Oh my god!
You know what? I will.
It's
like,
toxic. It's
By the
fucking
way,
toxic.
dead built next patch. So like, tune in if you want to fucking enjoy it while it lasts. 'Cause I'm still out there dropping kids every now and then. It's a lot of fun. It's a high risk, high reward.
Man, I
It's-
forget we're not all
But-
DC boys in here now.
Nah, you
We
know
got
what?
2 traders and 2 OGs.
I retired from
Two-
DC.
2 OGs, 2 traders.
You know what's
Traitors.
You know what's the most toxic thing? Actually caring about what faction you are. And imagine giving a shit about your faction. You know what? Like, I'll see y'all.
I'm only saying that because we
My
can't
name's
play
Kiri.
together
You know
now.
what, Kiri? I'm not
Me and
talking to
Zelly
you.
are
'Cause
GMs.
Kiri can actually whip my ass
because
I've seen him in dual train.
Yeah. I can't just change
I'll
faction,
see
bro.
you in Pale Orc.
Give me a guild faction
I
change
got
and
you
I'll
with
switch.
one-on-one coaching.
Yeah, Kiri will educate you fucking 2 heads and how to.
I think he was talking to you, good sir.
Yeah, he's going to 2 heads with Zell and Pale Orc. What do you mean?
Oh man.
Sorry,
80
I'm being
scum.
toxic. You know what? I don't even main AD. You know where I get on my AD so I can kill the other EP that want to stack in there? Because like
I feel
A lot
like
of
AD
times-
has the most pugs.
it does, and they have the lowest pop in IC generally. So like that's
I see
why
you
I
getting
swapped.
great fights, dude.
Yeah, I've been getting.
When
lot
are
of
we
good
getting a
fights.
rogue faction
Honestly,
Dude,
I'd be the
I-
first one to sign
where
up.
you can
Dude,
fight everybody? As
everybody.
long as you're in, if you're in group with them, you can't. They're basically your faction, but you're basically rogue, and you can make an argument for in the lore that you've spread, like you've
like
you've
the
left the
Imperial
alliance.
faction.
Last
Like,
time,
the Imperials don't fall under anyone, right?
last time we had this podcast, we brought this up and we talked about a rogue faction. There being a 4th faction where you were only allied with people that you were grouped with, and you just
Exactly.
shat on everybody else. Give me that. Give me that.
Great.
Give me
I'd
that,
be
bro.
100% down.
You know,
100% in.
you know how much I would PvP? I'd play the game all the time.
Dude, we got
Fuck it.
swords out.
You're
so
like
hard.
you're
Every-
outcast, basically. You're
Fuck it.
outcast.
Care, bro.
You'd have to get some type of.
It's making
block.
me foam.
You get so
Oh
much
my god, I am so moist right now, dude.
Wow.
I mean,
Dude, Zell, I can almost taste you, brother. Holy shit, you're that moist. You got so much humidity coming off your forehead. It's
Daedric,
making
we
me
could
jealous.
smell it. We could smell it from here, dude.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, Lord Zell just doesn't shower, so like that's probably why.
Oh man. No, I actually thought of that. A rogue faction would be pretty cool. There'd be some requirement to get the rogue faction. Like, say a faction is doing really bad and they gain assistance from the rogue faction. But the rogue faction goes and farms, like, whatever. Out of keep or whatever, assistance.
what
Give
if
us-
there's a
give
bowling
us-
drug?
give
What
us
if there's
bounties.
ancient weapon. An ancient weapon. What is it called? What was
Daedric
bowling drug?
artifact. Daedric
Artifact that if your group leader or someone in your group grabs it, you automatically become the rogue faction.
That'd be
Or a
interesting.
rogue
okay.
faction.
I'd fuck
You
with
can
it.
have multiple. You can have multiple if you need. But like, there's an artifact on the map that appears, and if you grab it, and if you obviously have to go out of your way to get it. Maybe the group leader has to grab it, and the other people aren't allowed to. And then you become rogue faction. That's just an idea.
Okay. Something I want.
We got the hammer for the new
I
artifact.
thought you
right
muted
now, right?
yourself.
No one really asked for it. It's unique. It's cool, but like it kind of breaks Cyrodiil sometimes. But where's the next artifact? Where's Orio's bow? Where's fucking I don't know, Wabbajack? Like what if he
So-
got some new fucking instead of just the hammer being the only thing
Didn't-
that spawns in Cyrodiil? Why don't we just get something?
Didn't
why
they
don't we
say
get,
they
like, a
were gonna
fucking
introduce more?
Wabbajack? They did. It's been. You know what? This is
How
the
long has it
problem, too.
been?
Over a year, because that's the last content drop we got for Cyrodiil or Battlegrounds. The last Battleground content drop was new maps, and that was like whatever. The last Cyrodiil content drop was fucking siegeable bridges and mile gates and the hammer. And nobody really wanted either of those. The hammer's kind of cool. It's like fun. Like I meme with it. I'll go fucking grab it and I'll kill the kids with it. But like, when was the last serious content drop we got for anything PvP related? It was over a year ago with the hammer and new Battleground maps. So that's kind of like brings up another point. Like, where's our content? We get all these new dungeons and shit. Like, and I get it, that brings in the fucking money because everyone's a fucking two-head and it's like, I want to kill fucking scripted NPCs and shit. But like, I want fluid something for PvP. I need something for endgame PvPers. It's been too long since we got anything new.
Yeah.
That was a lot. I'm sorry.
I think that's
Okay.
been a common trend with all the podcasts since 2014.
Yeah.
That's very true. I mean, we even got like stuff for like Cyrodiil and like stuff back then. Even like getting the towns like Cropsford, fucking whatever. Like that
They
was
added
something.
the weapon. The siege. But you don't achieve. You don't.
But you can't
obtain the
get it through
siege
PvP.
Cyrodiil. Why?
You don't.
Yeah, you don't even PV.
That was a problem with me because that siege weapon is awesome. It's pretty
Dude,
cool.
I
It
mean,
looks cool.
By all the time, it looks cool. Make it only obtainable in Cyrodiil. You know?
There you go.
why is it in the fucking vendor? Why can't I buy it with AP? Why do I gotta scry for that shit?
You know what I mean? Like, scrying.
I think you know the answer why.
Yeah,
Because
well,
fuck
I'm just
me in the
saying.
ass. That's the answer, right?
Incentive, man. That's another big thing. Like,
Mm.
Towns was a great idea. They should add more things like that. The extra outposts.
Yo,
The
TOS
extra
to watch the gun.
You know what I mean? They should add all sorts of shit. Maybe another artifact. I mean, I do notice though in the artist, I don't know if this is like a trend, but if the weapon's active and there's multiple key bursts, it dramatically affects the server performance, man. Especially with the weapon there and the keeps bursting.
Oh, true.
So I don't know why, but I'm saying, what if they added, maybe made the map a little smaller, easier to travel, for one. For two, perhaps added another type of area that was maybe shifted, that moved, right? And now that area you can scry for siege weapon, but it had to be controlled by a faction. And while it was controlled by that faction, you could scry there for relics or whatever. It would create incentive to search for that area when it spawned and create PvEers golden and another skirmish area like the towns. You know what I mean?
Well, there's also more
No,
terrain
yep.
they could add as capturable town. Look at fucking Shaden Hall. Look at God,
Yeah.
what's that place called in Oblivion? Take the Amulet Kings, Joffrey, in fucking whatever the place it is. Come on, and I know that
You're the lore master here.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
not the lore master.
You're from the Lore Masters podcast.
You
aren't
brought
you?
you brought up
dude.
Wabbajack. That
Thank you,
Yeah.
Delirious.
you
Way
brought
on
up
fiery.
Wabbajack.
Why?
Come on, Wabbajack would be great. A Magicka, like Jajic artifact, like could come out and just turn like Lord Zell into a chicken. Like he'd finally forget his real form in the game as he is in real life. That'd be sick, right?
Shots fired.
Yeah, I could turn his ass to a chicken. I'm sorry,
Cool.
Lord Zell. I'm just roasting you. I feel bad.
I'm not gonna lie. You were speaking and your words went right over my head. So I was sitting here like, "Yep."
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know why?
But I just now found out that you were talking about me.
There's no substance up there, is there? There's no substance up here. I get it. I understand.
I had a whole bunch of
I'm
freaking
reading chat. My bad.
late night stoner hours of thinking of shit to add to PvP, man. It's endless. You know what I
I
mean?
go to
It's
sleep.
like
George
yeah.
just fight too
It's
much
just-
talking.
There's some weird stuff that I've
so
said that
much
we should have.
cool shit you could do, bro. Like,
I hate the word potential because like this game
so
has a
much potential,
shit.
dude.
But I hate that word
PvP is
because you know what
so
potential.
awesome, bro.
You know
It
what
really
potential
is.
means.
When it works, perfect. Like, you know, granted, it works.
Potential
properly.
means it has the capability of being good, but chooses not to. That's why I hate having potential. Like you can either be good or not be good. So this game has a shit ton of
I don't know
potential,
about- right.
but it chooses not to fucking be good because there's so many fucking good like items.
One thing. Me, I don't personally like battlegrounds. This is completely off topic here.
Me either.
But, right? If you go to
Yeah.
IC, I'm being real here. If you go to IC and there's no fights, you go to Cyrodiil, there's no fights, in the off campaigns that have no fights, and the Grey Host is unplayable, what do? You play BGs. You can't queue up your friends anymore.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a major problem. You should be able to queue up your friends in BGs. You should be able to queue up at least in a duo with your fucking friends in BGs, at least, bare minimum. Now, what do we think about BGs in general? Like, as far as just, I think obviously it's a problem with the proc sets, but I personally am an open world guy. I like Cyrodiil a
I
lot.
like Cyrodiil a lot more.
The BGs, I'll do it, but I think they should bring back CP BGs for one. Maybe. I know it's kind of busted because it's the problem with that was it was prolonged. You know what I mean? Because of the healing factor, but they nerfed healing now. So they might want to consider bringing back pre-mates and bringing back BGs, both CP and non.
They don't want to do that. There's too much diversity in the queues. You're going to take too long. So you have to like kind of pick one or the other, which is
I-
understandable.
It's a
And-
big
That's the thing. They labeled this whole solo queue thing as an experiment. That's what was in the wording, right? This is an
I
experiment.
can agree with that though.
What kind of experiment lasts for 7 months? It's been long enough. Time.
Maybe it
not
was,
even-
maybe it
not-
was
maybe not even-
successful. Maybe it's
I
a
don't think it is
successful
because I
experiment.
queue BGs all the time. You know, I
Like
fight the
myself
same
included.
people every day. Every day, it's just the same people I see in there in Battlegrounds. And maybe if we just got rid of, like, maybe no more group queue, fine, no more 4-man queue, but why not just do a duo queue? Why not can't I just pair up with one competent person instead of being thrown in a mosh pit of 3 like ding dongs who just get fucking one shot? You know what I mean? Like, because that happens way too often than not, and every day
Feels
I
like
feel the same.
RNG.
It is
If you get
RNG.
paired with good
Dude, it
players
feels
or
like a
not.
shorter version of a battle royale game. Not that we don't start off like with no gear, but the fact that we can start off with like the world's worst teammates, and then you fight the best players on the other fucking team. The RNG aspect of it bothers me a
It
lot.
happens all the
It'll
time.
reduce the RNG if you can
It
do
would.
a queue.
It would make it
Duo
more
queue would help a lot.
bearable. Yeah, Zappos is the ding dong. He admitted to it in the chat. He's the kind of guy I'm talking about. Yeah, Battlegrounds. I think it's time to like bring back a duo queue.
Here's one idea. It's different. It's a different PvP environment that anyone is used to. But what if, in addition to 1v1s, you could do group v groups where
We're
if
waiting
you
for
group
that.
up,
I've been waiting for that.
if you group up in let's say anywhere like outside of Cyrodiil, and your group leader decides to go up and interact with another group leader, one of the options, because you can trade with them, you can add them as a friend, you can invite them to a duel, you can invite them to a group v group if you're both group leaders,
100%.
and then you can have a
GVG.
GVG.
Could you
Yeah, can
imagine
have
the
a
GVG
4v4.
community?
Yeah, dude.
I'm
Why
down.
not?
I'm a solo player and I'm pumping my fist too. Fuck it, dude. Why not?
I'm down for that, bro. Group
I'm all
V,
about you
group
guys.
play,
Fucking have
organized
at
in
it.
a fucking organized
It's
area, bro.
honestly be a fresh breath there.
100%, dude. 100%.
I'm all about
Okay.
diversity.
And
Yeah,
it's
bro.
not hard to implement. I try to ask for things that are not that hard to implement.
Fresher breath.
100%.
Yeah, that'd
Dude,
be great.
that last, listen, guys, not to get into the topic. I'm not bragging or anything. That last guild versus guild, my guild had hosted with help of other promoters at
Dude.
6v6. Had over 100 people in the Discord.
Dude.
100 people in the Discord. Fucking legendary. Some of the most legendary PvPers out there and that shit. I mean, granted, Harmony was a meta. We had fucking crazy turnout, dude. Showcases. People loved it, man. Loved it. We need more fucking organized, competitive PvP action with
Thank you.
groups.
Thank
Fuck
you.
you, Zelly.
There's a market for this shit.
100%.
There's a market. And GVG, that's great too.
Add something insightful to head.
I want to add something too for the dueling community because I know me and Kiri are both into the fucking dueling community like heavy. If Zos would sponsor like some kind of dueling tournament like regularly, that would be great too. Because every time, like I'm not the best fucking dueler on the planet, guys. You see me get planked on my fucking Magna all the time, but I show up and I give it my fucking all. But like every time I stream these player community-driven fucking dueling tournaments, there's a shit ton of people coming in, brand new to the fucking stream who want to like see that scrap, like this end game competitive 1v1 PvP. There's a big market for it, you know. We're usually at the top of the fucking stream board whenever we do a GVG. So if like literally Zos take the time to kind of organize like a sponsored event on their part and just take a roster of a bunch of people who want to do it. Like, it might be a long tournament, but like you see a lot of cool fucking new names in there that you've probably never seen duel before, and it would add like a whole new like aspect and experience for people that never like even thought of trying, and maybe they can find something that they would enjoy. Because there's a really cool dueling community that's like always out there in like Stormhaven or wherever, just like trying things out, and it just seems like something like the whole ESO community is interested in, because we wouldn't be seeing these spikes in like the streams whenever we're doing this if there wasn't interest. So I would love like a 1v1 tournament, maybe from Zos, or like maybe a queue for 1v1s where you just queue up like, all right, I'm gonna 1v1, it's gonna pair me with someone random. Like that would be sick. These
Yeah,
practice,
with no rules and everybody just running cheese.
No rules. I mean, maybe it would be cheese. Yeah, there'd be cheese.
Dude, that's
you
why
know
I
what?
have 1v1 events with rules.
I'd be cool with it, you know, because I go in there and I give it a shot, and I'd probably
It's a
have
step
lot
in the
of
right
fun.
direction.
It'd be
I
something
agree,
unique and
It's
awesome.
incentive towards
Even if I
like a
get
step
shit
towards
on,
organized, at least 1v1 organized gameplay.
like if I get
mean-
paired with Pale Orc in a 1v1 like queue, and he's in there venomous and like whatever the fuck, and he's just out there like
With
Bond,
Malakath?
Infernal, just Malakath stacking me out. 20k DPS proc set. Yeah,
And
when
he's
I-
wearing-
when I
does he-
slam my fucking forehead on the keyboard and
Mozzarella
scream.
cheese oozing out
Yes.
the sides. You know what I mean?
But I would be happy that
But-
it'd be in the game, and I'd be
Oh,
stoked.
man.
It'd be absolutely an awesome experience.
It all goes back on the same topic to where how us PvPers really feel like that ZOS doesn't give us so much, I guess, interaction. Like,
Recognition.
there you go. Recognition is the word I was looking for. Like, we have to host our own events. We have to gather together as a community because ZOS doesn't. Because we are trying to keep this damn game together. And
I got
our
your back, fam.
and
I got
dude,
your back.
that event.
You see this shit? This is my back, and it fucking hurts.
The only reason why I didn't bring my guild to the GVGs where Pale Orc was at is because it was my birthday and I want to go get fucked up. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Sure, you didn't.
That's
the
what
reason.
happened.
Yo,
But,
where's
dude,
the top player, bro?
I came back. I showed up near the end to watch the finales. I remember standing by Mercy and just seeing this whole fucking server, dude. This whole giant server, and I'm like, bro, I haven't seen Hill. This dude hasn't logged on in like 3 years, and he came just for this event. Can you imagine that? You know how hype I was to log in and see a badass fucking community like that all together.
Was that in January?
Yes, it was in January.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I was
remember
literally gone for the weekend, but like I came back home. It was like 9 p.m. or something.
I was out
hyped.
of town too.
I was hyped, man. It was the best thing ever.
The problem is with the harmony fucking crutch, man. It's just such a meta change. Like, not to bring it up, but when we used to GVG like Atomosity and Adressia and shit like that, and Scrubs Anonymous back in the day, this is like years ago. It was stamina. Everybody was stamina. You know, and then it transitions to harmony, and it's just, I think harmony is just fucking cheesy, man.
It is. It's too easy. Too
So
easy.
do you agree with the changes?
I like the harmony
I
nerf.
think they should nerf harmony, and I'm very interested in how it's going to change stamina gameplay and group play. I think harmony needed the nerf for a long time, and I agree with it. I agree
too.
I agree with Mr. Pale.
100%. From a group play perspective, I think it creates diversity. I don't want to see a meta leaned on Magicka or stamina. I want it to be balanced. I want to see like unique builds, unique comps, unique strats. Like, I've ran into all sorts of things. Like the other day, I was doing some group play with my group, and we noticed it was about four Magicka Dragon Knights in a circle, tanky as shit. We're focusing the shit out of them. I think we had like 8 in the group. Caught us off guard. 4 Magicka Night Blades. So they had 4 Magicka Night Blades and 4 Magicka DKs. The 4
Damn.
Magicka DKs were sitting in the middle just tanking us. We're like, okay, what the fuck's happening? We didn't even think anything of it. All of a sudden, 4 Magicka Night Blades all at once come out with Proxy Debt and Soul Tether and blow us up with PD. We're like, what the fuck? They're in like an 8-man coordinated group. Like they have like sitting dummies. Like that's
brain.
cool shit to me. I don't care to
Clever
white.
use of
Big
game
brain.
mechanics.
Super fucking unique in PvP. I'm like, we blew up out of nowhere. I'm like, holy shit, that was fucking kind of awesome. I hate that I died, but it's
Can't even be mad.
You can't feel bad about that because it's somebody creating a tactic through PvP that's different.
Ambush them.
It's an ambush. You see all different sort of wacky shit like that.
That's sick.
I'm into it, dude. I like strategy and shit like that. Cyrodiil's all about that. Like, okay, we go to Cyrodiil, right? We're used to the same type of things. Cyrodiil, however you want to say it, if you go to the row farm and farm, that farm at the row farm is not entirely the same. EP might show up, you know, DC might show up, EP, whatever. It's always not exactly 100% the same every single fight. And that's what's glorious about Cyrodiil, is it's always different. It's always different, the movement, what you could have did. So I think that creates a lot of fun involved in different combos that you can do and provide, that Cyrodiil can provide. So I think that's really cool, man. I think it's overlooked, you know?
It really is. It's unique. And that's what makes Cyrodiil great. And I miss it. I miss being able to main Cyrodiil.
Cyrodiil's a shit, man, when it works. When it works.
Some of the best fucking moments of my life. I mean, in gaming life, excuse me. I don't want to sound like a complete fucking freak, but like gaming life is.
We know what
awesome.
you meant.
Did you? I don't know. I have to literally. There's some guy in the chat saying Pain's a fucking virgin or some shit. You know, there's always some. There's always one. What's
You gotta
next,
be looking
boys?
for her now.
I know. I'm baiting him. Someone's gonna do it. I just guarantee it. There he is, Sakar. Thank you.
Sekar. Got him.
All right. I don't want to say this name, but I can tell you're obviously kind of stupid. So you can get your trolling out of here. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Jesus. Man's been trolling the whole chat, bro. Fuck off. We chilling.
Swing
Damn.
the Thor hammer.
Damn, bro.
Got him with the nunchucks.
I pretend I had a
See
Pale
you in
Orc
the
arm
afterlife,
and bicep
pal.
and just God damn.
Hell, where the fuck
An
were you?
imaginary
That was-
stamina whip.
Imaginary
Please get
stamina
Pale
whip,
Orc
dude.
on.
Stone fisted him out of the
Stone-
server.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Get the fuck out of
Someone's
here.
utilizing it. Someone's utilizing it.
Boca.
Finish it.
Imagine, dude.
You know, I'm all about trolling in the chat, but like, at least be funny when you're trolling, man. Just be funny. Oh, Zappos! Why does Zappos get nuked?
Hey, I
He said
wouldn't
me
know.
next.
He said me next, dude. That wasn't me.
No, he's
Zappos, what are you doing?
Mod
yeah,
abuse.
Zappos is kind of a Papega. Like he's a verified Papega.
Zappos, are you innocent?
The Delirious gets wrecked too. If I type something, I'll probably get here. I mean,
Oh man.
there you go. Get me. Nuke me.
Try.
Alright, so let's see. Oh, let me pull up my phone real quick. I have
Hey, try hard in the chat.
last minute questions.
I mean, we
Oh,
can
yeah,
go
do you want to do
personal.
the Q&A now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a Q&A.
Yeah, let's do Q&A.
What was the majority? Did Ahmad keep note of what was the most?
I'm trying to pull it up on my phone real quick.
I'm just getting ready for all the fucking questions, honestly, dude. I just know what's gonna happen.
So
I know
some of the questions are slightly, I guess, off topic.
Chat, if you had to pick something to ask these 4 stud chads to answer, all right, that's what we need to figure out. What do you want answered by the Chad squad?
Alright.
What is that rug on your head?
So
No,
That's
your
what they
mom.
went with.
It's your mom's pussy hair. I fucking farmed it, bro.
Woo!
the rug.
Woo!
You got a bush on your head.
Yeah. They're just jealous because I have a fucking sick haircut.
Pain has
Alright.
good hair, dude.
I got 2 questions. The first one is from E-Man. His question is for Kiri. Do you think a nerf with the ult for solo mag and Stamplars since there is no longer no longer a cast time? Wait, he typed it all funky. I think he's talking about the crescent sweep.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. Let me reread this. It says, question for Kiri. Do you think it's a nerf with the ult? I don't know what ult he's talking about yet. For solo, mag, and Stamplars. Since now there is a longer cast time.
Longer cast time on
A
sweep.
longer time for cast time for ult. Are you still here, bro? Can you rephrase that for me? Longer
He said
cast
he
time.
thinks it's
Oh,
more
okay.
Cast time, I think.
Is that the end of the question?
Yeah, that's just all it was.
I think I covered it when I was talking about
Yeah.
the changes at the beginning. Well, empowering sweep, I feel like, okay, if you guys think that it was overperforming, maybe once you change it and add a cast time, the issue that arises when you when you do sweeping changes, because it wasn't just empowering sweep that was changed, there was other things like burning light, which we talked about, and power the light as well. Power the light as well. Stop, Pain. It's hard to get a balance if you're changing so many things at the same time. I think that's my opinion. Now, empowering sweep having a cast time, I feel like if you're gonna add a cast time for to introduce counterplay, then you should also, in order to not be a hypocrite, you would also have to do it to things like major vulnerability, Flesh Atronach ultimate, because as it stands right now, when you see the Flesh Atro, if you see it, you're getting hit by major vulnerability. Where's the counterplay to that? There's no cast time to that. I mean, you can argue, there's a few arguments that I can already imagine, that it takes a little bit of time to place it, but again, the enemy doesn't know, like, you don't, when the animation happens is when the major vulnerability happens. In addition, you also get the initial hit. Another argument I can see is it takes 3 hits and then it stuns, but that's usually not what kills people. People don't usually live enough to actually see the 3rd hit and the stun from the flesh atro. They die right off the rip from the major vulnerability being applied off the rip and the initial damage stacked on top of other things that are able to take advantage of how fast it's applied. So if you're going to add a cast time to Empowering Sweep, then it's only fair to add it to things like other ultimates as well. And I'm going to say right now that I disagree. I don't want to see cast times applied to Flash Atronach or Empowering Sweep or Dawnbreaker or Onslaught. And I think the majority of the people here would also agree with that. And we've stated reasons. You can go back and I don't want to bring up a whole discussion and talk about it again because we've already talked about why we think that. But that's just a little summary.
So before we get on to the bigger question that incapacitated here, I do want to answer the question about Bloodspawn. What do you guys think about the Bloodspawn change? That obviously shifted the meta around for lots of people, but for people like Homeboy here or across PainInTheAxe, looks like he really wants to say something about it. So go ahead.
I'm happy. It may make it viable again, and I miss being able to run Bloodspawn just in general because they nerfed it to the ground, like literally by like half its fucking capability they used to have.
Literally,
and Bloodspawn was a huge thing for MagDK. Like the ultimate gen and the resistances it gave really made 1VX very good. And it was just like one of the best fucking sets you could run. Like it's the best 1VX set you could possibly put on your monster set. It was just awesome. And the fact that they gave it a buff, like, even if it was a slight buff, like I think it went from like what 8 ult gen to like now, I can't remember the exact number. Like is it 13 now? That's gonna give you back when you get hit or whatever. I don't remember the exact number, but you're gonna get more ultimate like back when you're hit, or something. And you're getting like I think it's close to 800 to 1,000 extra resources. And this is like a start in the right. Do I think it needs to be buffed? So it is 13 now. Yeah, it's gonna be 13 next. It's a start in the right direction. It just was a great set for 1VX and a great survivability set for 90k and a lot of other playstyles as well. Like even fucking Stampar, like Stam DK, even fucking used it a lot. And like the fact that they nerfed it so hard this patch was like detrimental. I didn't think it deserved that kind of nerf. I would have been fine with like maybe a 25% reduction, which is what they're kind of leading towards now. Like, because I think they realized how badly they fucked it. And I think it's a step in the right direction. And I'm probably going to run it next patch. You know, I'm probably going to utilize it again. I think I'm going to give it another fair honest shot and see how I feel. Like, I haven't been on the PTS. There's not really too much for me to test for MagDK. So I'm probably just going to test it out live and see how I feel.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bloodspawn as well. I've used it in most of my setups before the patch, before it got nerfed. And I especially was a fan of it because I enjoyed taking advantage of sets that increase in effectiveness the more people that you're fighting. So if you're outnumbered, it becomes more effective. And we saw that with Bloodspawn because the more damage that you're taking. We saw that with Fury. And unfortunately, those sets, because they can be very effective if you're in an outnumbered situation. Now think first, if you're in a even number situation or you're outnumbering the enemy, you're not taking that much damage because you have so many people that can take the damage for you. The single target damage, these sets are going to be more effective the more outnumbered that you are, and I don't think that's a bad thing. The only reason why people are QQing and saying that Fury and Bloodspawn are way too overpowered, especially the old Fury, not the new one, was because the people that were utilizing them were in outnumbered situations and they were able to take advantage of the effectiveness of it. The only way, I mean, you can counter it by not zerking the person down, and that's something like, unfortunately, they they took a stab at those types of sets, and that's why we're seeing Fury nerfed again, or we're seeing Fury nerfed, and that's why we saw Bloodspawn get nerfed. And a lot of the sets that worked better when you were the more outnumbered that you were, they increased in effectiveness. And I wish there was more sets like that. That would be one way to aid small scale.
100% with you, homie. 100%.
Okay, so we got a few questions, not to make the topics extremely long. I do want to go over Incapacitated's question. He said, this is a question for all. The main problem seems to boil down to PvP not generating the same or even close revenue that PvE does. Most of the problems of PvP stem from the lack of attention. How does ZOS incentivize themselves, thus benefiting PvP? Any...
Yeah, the reason why it's not producing that much revenue is because it's not as popular, and a lot of that has to do with the incentives that you get from PvE. You're seeing new dungeons, you're seeing new sets. Where do you get those new sets? You get them from the dungeons, and that's why people go to the PvE. Now, if you were to add actual incentives from like new sets and stuff like that that are bind on pickup, so you have to PvP, just like us PvP players have to PvE in order to go get these new sets for an extended period of time, not just to farm vigor and you're done. And plus, vigor is one ability. Sets change, and we have to farm a different dungeon, and then we have to farm like the weapon, so we have to go for the last boss over and over and over and over. And we have to PvE, as PvPers, so much more, especially because it's bind on equip, then PvEers have to PvP. There's just no incentive. So if there was an incentive, a higher incentive to PvP yourself as a PvEer, then you would see a higher popularity in PvP, and therefore you could then justify spending more of your resources, financial resources as a company, into PvP, because there's more people, it's more popular.
I couldn't have said it like any better, like at all myself. Like that's literally
PvEers outnumber PvP players because there is more incentives. Not only sure, I get the argument that it's a little bit more fun. Some people enjoy it, and that's their preference. But a lot of it also has to do because there's way more incentives. There's way better sets, and the rewards that you can get from PvE than from PvP. You have to take that into consideration, because we're seeing a very biased incentive kind of like balance here, and that probably has a lot to do with why PvE is more popular.
It's true. I agree. But I think PvP, it brings in a lot of attention, and the only reason why it's not thriving is because it doesn't work properly. So a lot of people think PvP
competitive.
It is repetitive sometimes, but
no, I mean competitive.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lacking in terms of competitiveness, but even for the casual player that loads into Cyrodiil to get that vigor or that rapid,
what the fuck, I can't cast. What's going on?
You have to PvP to get those things, you know. So there is an automatic interest to go PvP, because any like stamina build that even wants to go to PvE and maybe wants like a self heal that's like reliable and PvE has to come into Cyrodiil and go get that skill. And so they're gonna come in there. You're going to see how the server just does not work, and they want to end their suffering as soon as possible. So if they focused on actual server stability, that like actually increased like your skills working and all that, and like all that jazz that we're all used to hearing about, there would actually be a more. It is expensive, but like think of the return they would get if they actually made it. Like, how many people would come back to the game hearing that this game like actually had working, viable PvP? When they came in here, like all these groups, like think of all the groups you guys used to see out in Cyrodiil, like
I'm sure they've had that discussion though.
I know they have these discussions, but if they could just fix it, they would literally rack in so much money, people trying to come back to this game in PvP. Honestly, it would literally be like the most top tier thing. It would overtake PvE, I guarantee you. If
that's the dream. That's the dream.
It would definitely take over PvP. Like,
PvE
wouldn't even be a focus at that point, because it'd be so good.
And want to continue PvPing. Like, I need to join, get vigor. I'm going to join this group. Oh, look, there's an invite string of XAN in zone chat. I'm going to join them. Run around with them. Oh, look, they linked the Discord. Let me get in the Discord. Oh, wow, this looks a lot more involved than I thought than it would be. Oh, wow, this is actually fun. These guys are cool. They're having fun. We're winning a number of fights. Let me be involved more. Let me be involved more in Cyrodiil. Let me get better. You know what I mean? That's what you want, dude. The incentive. When you take vigor and you make it that easy to get, you remove shit like that. That's not what you want, dude. That's not what you want. You want people to be involved, dude. They play. They're like, holy shit, I want to get better at this. I want to be successful at it. I'm enjoying it. So
I'm in a lot of
things. He's right, man. It should be that way. you should want to join and fucking want to keep playing more and be successful in it, you know?
I'm in a lot of the Zerg Discords too, just so I can like see how they're doing and whatnot. And there's so many messages in there just saying, "Hey guys, we're no longer running groups because we just can't. You know, it's just too unbearable. It's not fun. Like we literally can't accomplish what we want to accomplish." And like I don't necessarily like Zergs, you know, like I hate getting Zerged down by them, but like it just sucks to see like all these players and these group leaders like unwilling to run groups anymore just because they know like it's not going to be like entertaining for them, you know. So like they're literally giving up, and like we honestly need these players because like the more people that show interest in PvP means the more updates we get, the more content drops we get.
Morale is low.
You know, we need the morale. Thank you.
The morale is low. It is. I don't disagree.
So at the end of the day, it's literally just incentives. They need to give us reasons to not just hop into Cyrodiil, but to stay in Cyrodiil. They need overall like some sort of advertisement. Can you imagine if this game had some sort of, even if it was tiny, some sort of esport? Can you imagine how many people will come from a different game just to, man, I'm gonna try out the esports in ESL as well. Like come on, like give us reasons to continue to play the game besides the good fights. Because honestly, like when the game works, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
so at the end of the day, it's really just incentives and not just one category, but in everything. Reasons to stay, reason to PvP.
Let me add one thing on the topic of incentives. So you guys have probably experienced this if you guys like to play more than one player or more than one character, especially stamina. Maybe you don't enjoy having to farm for vigor. Maybe PvEers don't enjoy having to farm for vigor, especially if they're stam, right? I think part of the reason why some people might not enjoy farming vigor is because vigor is a fundamental skill to stamina. It's like extremely frustrating to play without vigor if you're stamina. So I can see why people would be frustrated saying that they have to farm vigor. I hate having to PvP just to get the skill that I want to use in PvE. Or people who want to create a new PvP character and have to farm vigor. It's really annoying because you don't have vigor, and I feel like if you add incentives that are not fundamental, like instead of vigor having like sets that you can still function without the sets, you can't really function to the same extent without vigor as a stamina player. It's a lot more frustrating, but you can still, if there's an incentive that's not vigor, that's like sets and stuff like that, then you can have a better time in PvP while you're trying to get these incentives. It's like trying to farm a dungeon. It's not like farming a dungeon for a set that's bind on pickup. Instead, it's like trying to farm a dungeon for just the ability to have a weapon on your front bar, because it's that fundamental to stamina. It's like you don't have a weapon on your front bar, so you have to try to farm this dungeon over and over until you can finally unlock the ability to have a front bar weapon. That's what vigor feels like. It's like trying to PvP without vigor is like it's crucial ability, and that's why it's probably some people see it as not fun. But if you add incentives that aren't necessarily fundamentals to your playstyle, like sets, then you can have a much better time in Cyrodiil trying to farm for these incentives.
I feel you on that, boss.
I will say it is a very short grind though to get vigor regardless.
It is now. Well, it's about to be.
It's gonna be now it's gonna be extremely short because at first it was, I don't remember what it was, but I remember it went down to like 50k like what 2-3 years ago. Like they already made it easier to grab, and now they're making it easier to grab again. I don't see why.
But think about being a PvE player though. Think about being a 400 CP stamina Nightblade, right? Or stamina warden or whatever for PvE, and you've been PvEing your entire life, and now someone tells you, hey, you have to go get vigor. It's probably essential that you have it on your back bar or something in PvE, especially if there's no healer, whatever, you're low CP, you might not have a good group. And your only experience in Cyrodiil, your only PvP experience that you've ever known, because you have to go into Cyrodiil to farm this skill, right? That people told you, you saw a build video from, I don't know, from 2014 from Cypher, and he has vigor and you have to go get it. And your only experience with Cyrodiil is getting absolutely destroyed because you don't have vigor and you're trying to farm it. And that's your only, you get vigor, you get the hell out of there, and you're never coming back to Cyrodiil because you had a bad experience.
You hated it.
it's such a fundamental.
Okay,
and
I see the part you're saying now. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
Oh.
it's a brutal zone, but like warriors are forged in the
Okay.
fire. You know what I mean? They're
You
fucking-
first join
and they're-
Cyrodiil, how often, how commonly are you going to come back from a new perspective?
All right, so as much as I would like to stay on this topic because it is a good topic, we are going to wrap up the stream within the next 20 minutes, guys, as we're hitting the 3-hour mark, and that's actually the golden spot that I do like to hit for these streams. But just to kind of move on to the next question, just an example of one of the bigger streamers that's been streaming ESO. Everyone's been talking about it, and a lot of the chats that I've seen, actually, everyone's going kind of nuts about it. Royal asked, have you covered Summit streaming ESO? How long do you think he will keep to Cyrodiil once he experiences the lag and, well, essentially the harassment from the stream snipers?
I think.
So,
Go ahead.
first and
Wait,
foremost,
who are we talking about?
we're talking about Summit
Summit
1G streaming
Oh.
ESO. I'm gonna say that I think it is amazing when we get one of these giant streamers coming in here and playing the game. It brings more players overall that can be you or me, for example, that can come in here, end up making content, falling in love with the game, and then, well, literally ranting about it for hours on a live stream. They could be a part of the community is what I'm essentially saying. The thing that I do like about what I've seen from Summit so far is that he's saying that he's actually enjoying the game and he's been streaming, but when he goes into PvP, I don't see him blasting because it's so easy to stream snipe people in this game, and he's already having like 20 people follow him everywhere in ESO. The big part I do like about this is that not the stream sniping part, is that we're getting attention to ESO when I think we should be getting a lot more. That's the big plus side. If Summit leaves ESO again, or if he leaves, just like when Shroud came and left, I mean, man, we got a lot of attention for a while, right? I'm sure a lot of those players that watch Shroud play the game are probably still playing around because they watch Shroud play it.
All right. Well, I think personally that he probably won't last a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't see him
Played
lasting.
for a couple of weeks. Honestly,
I really don't.
The thing is, what it comes down to, the best MMO out right now, PvP, is Elder Scrolls Online. 100%. Graphics wise, content wise, our community is fucking amazing. Let's be real here. Will Summit become part of that? Probably not. He'd have to play more to become a part of it.
Yeah, I don't
I
see
mean,
that happening.
hopefully, if he played PvP for like 4 weeks and got heavily involved and started dueling and talking to the other PvP streamers, shit like that, collaborating with the community, maybe it'll go somewhere. But I don't see it lasting any more than 2 to 4 weeks of him playing it. I mean, but I could see why it draws a lot of larger streamers' attention, because it is a massive multiplayer online game it's been going on for over 6 years. That is fun as shit. You know what I mean? Shroud played it for mad long. I seen him. He bought like a whole bunch of crates and shit like that. He did PvE, but he was having a lot of fun with it. And I think fucking ESO's got a lot to offer, man. A lot to offer the newer streamers, including volume of viewership and just community support. So I guess the best thing that will tell is time. Time will tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like the fact that he's giving this game an honest attempt, and that's what he said on his very first day. Because I tuned in the very first day while he was downloading the game. He's saying, "I haven't given ESO an honest chance," and that's what he was planning on doing. And it's pretty cool to see him come back day and day and playing this game, bringing some attention, bringing some new eyes to the game. Maybe we'll get some new potential PvPers out of it. Maybe some people are going to download the game. Okay, let's give it a shot. You know,
exactly. More people playing this game is good for us.
Yep.
Especially streamers of his caliber. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And like,
you know, he'll bring in more traffic. More traffic for ESO.
He's going to have to experience that large learning curve between PvE to PvP that every player has to deal with and witness as soon as they load in. Because like nobody loads in to fucking Cyrodiil and comes out like a chat the first day. You know what I mean? No one comes in and just like kills everybody and is like a massive god and just 1vx's everything. So if he takes the time and effort to learn that, then great. That's awesome. But when we do that, we'll have to see, you know, because it is daunting. It is quite annoying to learn all that crap.
Guard, man.
It's Togard saying. All right, long-time listener, first-time caller. I have two-part question. First question is, why does Dell look like a resulting baby of Pale Orc impregnating Kiri? No, because Zell likes to go from man to man. That's why. That's why.
Hey, he's not
Second
wrong,
question, why
bro.
does
He
Bane
brings
look
up a
like
good
he's
point.
very
Yeah.
Maybe I am off a tail pump for Thogard.
Probably
Probably not, because I'm not fucking cursing every goddamn fucking word. That's probably why. Excuse me. Sorry, went off script.
All right, so next question. This is a much more shorter question. He added me, but I think it was just for the sake of asking all of us. Orgalord asked, do you think it would be good if they brought back Dynamic Old Gen? I wasn't around for Dynamic Old Gen. I've watched videos of MagDKs going fucking nuts, but that's it. Like, I did not play ESO when that was the thing. I joined literally the patch afterwards.
Yes.
Well, can you even explain what it really is? Because I never really...
Okay, so Dynamic Ultimate, so basically you generate ultimate depending on how much damage you deal to a target. So say you're getting fucking 5v1, right? And you hit Talons. The damage you apply to all the targets around you is going to generate faster ultimate. So if they're hitting you, they're going to be generating some ultimate, but you'll be generating more ultimate overall than they will over the time of the
It'll
fight.
stack. Holy
So
shit.
you'll gain ultimate faster than all your targets. They say, and then you can put out more ulti damage and just nuke people, because you'll be like building like leap after leap after leap, even if you time it right. And your ultimates would actually deal damage to generate ultimate to your ultimate.
Can we have
So
that
think about-
back? What was it? Was it fucked?
How do
Like,
healers take advantage of that though?
They would heal people, and depending on how much healing output they put, they get ultimate as well.
But Zerg healers would get
the
insane.
Zerg
ultimate.
killers would get buffed. Hardcore
Here's the
to
way
that,
I would implement it. I would implement it not
It was like
healing
that.
done. I would implement it as not healing done and not damage done. I would do it as the amount of damage that you're taking.
Well, like they would be.
kill frenzy though, like of killing players, you gain ultimate.
Yeah, you get ultimate from killing people, and you get ultimate depending on how much AoE damage to, like, in this case, AoE damage, because everyone ran AoE heavy to generate that fast ultimate.
In my
But
opinion,
it literally, like, it sounds crazy, but it literally made gameplay fast as fuck. Like, you'd be attacking a group, you'd be generating the ultimate, you dump, and then they turn you to dump, you go back, you have another one, you dump ultimate on them. It was like constant back and forth.
You can reduce kill frenzy too when you do that.
You could, but it was a lot of fun. Trust me. Like, those are the
Interesting.
glory days.
Interesting.
I
That's
don't
pretty.
know,
That's
I-
pretty
Damage
sick.
taken was also a
I
factor
remember.
as well.
I remember seeing a video of a dude having a Dragonite banner down, and he had Vamp Swarm up at the same time, and I was just like, dude, what the
fire
fuck?
bats.
Yeah.
Fire bats. Is what we call
What?
it. So you'd heal.
That's
Well,
that's
everyone-
nuts.
No one ran,
That's
no one ran
fucking
shifting
nuts.
standard back then, because they'd run standard to bite. Because at the rate you were dropping standards, you could just go back to back to back with standards and bite, so you're hitting enough targets. So
Damn.
yeah,
Can I play the devil's
fast-
advocate here?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, so it sounds like a really cool idea. I don't know if it's necessary, and more importantly, I don't know if it's worth sacrificing server performance, because it is more calculations that you have to do, and that's
It
the step
probably
that they're
wouldn't
trying to
work
get
in these
away
days,
from.
honestly. But it
Yeah,
works
so
back then.
it's a really cool idea, but I don't know if it's realistically something that should be implemented.
I'm gonna watch some
even
It was a
videos.
necessary.
Zerg killer,
I'm gonna
though.
watch some
It
videos
abs-
of it at least.
It was a Zerg killer.
But that's
like,
pretty-
If you
that's
were an
pretty
80-man
interesting.
group fighting a 12, that 80-man group would get fucking decimated. They wouldn't even stand a chance if like those 12 people knew what they were doing, and it was literally like you would just feed yourself
Damn.
AP over and over and over.
Dawnbreaker back to back, dude. Oh my
And
god.
ground oils. Oh my god, you just pour ground oils on yourself.
Wait,
That would generate
what?
ultimate. Yep. You could put
That's
an oil down right on the
fucked.
floor next to you, and the oil damage would kill people. It was great. It was so much fun. So you lure them to a choke and just pour oils point blank and kill people. Good times, man. Good
How
times.
about when Malakath procced oil?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was
You're grounded.
That was
Don't bring
amazing.
that up.
They patched
That
that.
was
I'm sorry. Skip
Good.
over that.
Malakath
Alright.
would proc Cold Fire Siege too.
So another
And then
question.
they can proc vicious death.
That's
Yikes.
toxic. That's toxic. Okay. Okay. Moving
With
on.
Malakath buff.
Moving on. Before we throw hands. Grew like tacos. I guess this is kind of back on the streamer thing. He said, don't know if you can answer this, but what do you think of some of the bigger ESO streamers branching out to games like WoW and BDO? Groot, I'm assuming you're thinking of people like at our level, I guess, leaving the game. Honestly, if they're not happy, dude, they could leave. Like if they don't like the fucking game, dude, they can leave. Like as much as I hate to see people leave, if it fucks with their mentality too much, oh well, like go do something else, bro. Go be healthy. That's what I think. That's what I personally think about people leaving the community to other MMOs. If they're not having fun in ESO anymore, then honestly, like, don't sit around and talk shit about the game and pop into people's chats. Like, why are you still playing? Is this game shit? No, dude, go play your BDO or WoW or whatever you want to play. You don't have to stick around to drop morale. Go be happy playing your other game. That's what I think of that group. Anyone have anything to say about that? That's kind of a shorter question.
What they want to stream.
Yeah, see, there you go. Let them stream what they want to stream, man. Stream what they want to stream.
Look, man, everybody's got their poison.
Mm-hmm.
In plain simple, okay? ESO can be poison. It could be enjoyable. Depends on the situation. Me, I look forward to playing ESO. If I didn't give a shit, I wouldn't complain about it. I'm complaining about it because I care, because I love the fucking game, dude. I love the game. I literally do. So, like, you know, the performance is going to affect me if I'm in a situation where I know it wasn't justified. My death was not justified. Where it's like, if it wasn't performing the way it was, I wouldn't have died. So that's just cringy to me. I get mad, dude, because I give a shit. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think that the people who are loyal to ESO are going to be around, man.
Yeah.
And it shows because we're still around. Here we are. You know what I mean?
After the struggle, here we are.
Thick and thin, boys.
All right, do we have any last questions? Might have missed
Got any
some.
personal questions?
Bogart TV. Hi, I have a question for Pale Orc. When he was wearing urban camo bandanas and blending, yo, chat, stop moving, blending into the city like that, does he have any plans to leave any area left over for the rest of us?
Any what?
Good.
I'll say it.
Don't be dishing on my camo fucking bandana, dude. What's he saying? Do I have any what left?
Does Pale Orc even have a forehead? Is the real question, because I can't see it. There's this camouflage on there.
God,
no, you took it off. You took it off from him, bro.
You ready?
Oh, now I can see it.
Oh,
wait,
the big reveal.
There it is.
Oh,
yo.
He does have.
Jorge Masvidal.
Bro.
Oh,
Yo,
my God,
Did you enjoy your fight with Usman the other weekend? How did it feel getting your toe stomped like that over and over?
Oh.
Not bald. You see? Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I had the sides of my head shaved, like a Viking style cut. Then I figured I didn't like it, so I grew it out on the sides. And when you play catch up, I look like Bo's little clown. When I put a hat on, it bows out in the sides. So a bandana on that fucking length fixes that. All right, there you go. That's why.
You look like the Michelin Man, bro. Don't even give it a strip.
All right. Well, COVID has been rough. I've been eating a lot of cake and fucking shit. So, fuck you, Pain.
All right. Anytime, anywhere,
today,
bro.
like 12 beers.
Actually 11, but you know.
Yeah, no,
I'm still
beers for breakfast.
And this shit, bro. And I'm still out here like, fine. You try that shit, man. You try going live and fucking all that alcohol in the system. I bet you fucking face plant. I bet you face plant on the keyboard, boss. What do you mean?
I don't know how you do it, man.
God damn, ban tomorrow. There won't be a Pale Orc anymore on Twitch. Man, that would be a sad day. I'd literally cry. I would cry.
Okay. Any other questions? I guess literally anything about this point. Not really just about ESO, but
I see a lot of meme questions.
answer one. I don't see one.
You did say personal.
Yeah, you did say personally.
Okay.
Does anyone have any personal questions for specifically PainInTheAxe?
I see a few of them.
I'll let it go on for like.
The true chat of Mag DKs.
Honestly,
Corona Pounder.
Yeah.
The legend. What's
we
the
actually got a good question from Van Zan from the Kelly gang. How did you all get into the
TKG
game?
represent.
Were you all PvEers or PvPers to start? I was a PvEer for like a week. I found out about PvP and I honestly stuck to that until I hit max level. I was in Blackwater Blade when they had CP enabled in Blackwater, by the way, which was fucked. But I started PvE for like a week and I went straight into PvP. I was a Mag Sorg dual wield that had blood crazes on my front bar with the hardcast version of frags to CC my opponent so I could hit them with Blood Craze. 200 IQ. I was bad.
That's good.
I was bad, okay? I was 1VX material, straight up. I was dog shit. And I also ran in nothing but 24 mans for like the first 2, 3, 4 months of ESO. Until somebody named Red Ski, which I don't know if he still plays, but he was like, you know, you're not gonna get any better playing in a Zerg like that. And he didn't mean it like in an offensive way, and I was like, he's right. So I stopped running the big groups. But yeah.
Yep, gotta do both.
Oh man, he was right, dude.
So
I was that dude hard casting frags in a group of like 50 people, bro. Yep, hard casting frags, however the animation is, dude. Did y'all all start as PvEers, or did y'all just go straight into PvP too?
No, I did it for like a month PvE,
Yeah.
and then I fucking zerged forever. And
I
then
started
figured
out in
shit.
PvE.
I was them Brian, dude.
Everyone's starting PvE,
I
right?
got to level 10. I entered Cyrodiil. I then joined a Zerg in the beta on my mount and thought this game is awesome. I'm in like a Zerg of 60 people on a level 10 on a Stamina Dragon Knight. Zerging everybody, bro. I didn't care. I'm like, this game is awesome, dude. Sign me up.
Hell yeah, man. I remember I was a Bread and Stam DK. I was a Bread and Stam DK as well. It was my first actual class was a Bread and Stam DK because I didn't know racial passives meant anything. I didn't know about min-maxing or nothing. Damn, man. That was when ESO was so innocent to me.
That was good time.
Yep, fuck.
We're all young dumb.
And now we're all sweating.
We're all sweating over here.
Yep.
Should I answer Thorgard's question, chat?
And go for it. We're honestly just finishing it up. I have a small stopwatch going on right now anyway, so you got a few minutes.
He's asking me, what do you think gets more ladies? Having a lightsaber in the background that's about to fall over, or having a shit ton of Pokemon posters on your wall?
Pokemon, dude.
I don't know. I think the lightsaber's pretty hot, you know? I think it's pretty hot, you know? It gets,
Wait, who has posters?
Oh, what do you mean, bro?
Who has posters, dude? I got plushes.
Literally,
are you Count Dooku or what, bro? What color is that?
This is the purple army, bro. It's for fucking Ice Poseidon.
Are you Obi-Wan Kenobi? Who's your favorite?
Obi-Wan Kenobi, bro. Do you even watch Star Wars? Who the fuck has a purple lightsaber? No one tell him.
I can't see what color it is.
Oh, he said no one tell
Are
him.
you colorblind, bro? It's right in your face. What
color is that?
Dude, you're literally colorblind.
Purple or blue? I can't tell.
It's purple, bro.
Okay, well,
bro,
it looks
this
blue.
guy. No wonder why you can't beat me.
No, it's purple now.
Chat. You know why you can't beat me? Because he
Who has
can't
a purple
fucking see.
lightsaber?
He can't fucking see. He can't even fucking see. That's why he loses the 1v1.
Mace Windu, yep.
I've never seen it's like, is that a fucking? Is that a
colorblind, bro?
Oh shit! Now it all makes sense.
Now I can see the purple.
It looks like blue to you too, Thorgard. Well, you're Jesus Christ.
This whole time he thought he was fighting for the Pact. Or no, this whole time he thought he was fighting for the Covenant, but he was fighting for the Pact.
You find out.
Mm-hmm.
Man don't know his colors.
The fucking dingus.
It's not Count Dooku, you ding dong. That's a Sith Lord, you ding. Oh my god. I just want to fucking die now.
All right.
Okay. Hey, who has a purple lightsaber?
Mace Windu. Mace Windu. Yep.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's not even his hilt either. It's a Dorian hilt. But, you know, I don't expect
I'm a Lord of the Rings RPer, bro.
Dude, go get your sword. Where's your little sword? I'll put my sword against your sword any day.
No, you don't want to do that. You'll be fucking...
I'm not talking about that sword, actually. I'm talking about the sword.
Does anybody in here, does anybody have any last minute questions or comments or concerns, I guess, from you guys as well? Any last things y'all want to say? And also, Pain, are you going to stream again, or are you done for streaming for the night?
I'm done, bro. Like,
okay.
I went like 10 hours today.
Oh my god, dude. No, go to bed.
Jelly,
Jesus.
You stream BBP. I'm done.
God damn. No, I need to eat too, man. I came straight from hanging out with some friends. I brought my food home, but it's all cold now, but I need to eat.
Okay, well.
Alright, well I guess we're gonna have to find somebody to raid after this again. Yo, PainInTheAxe. Kiri?
I'm gonna stream.
Right, Kiri.
Alright, there you go. Alright, you better turn your shit on like right now, bro. I'm about to end it.
Yeah, go live, Kiri. What are you doing?
Yeah, give it to Kiri then.
That bacon. Perfect.
Is
Now
my
we're-
camera gonna go black again? Oh yeah,
No.
I knew it as soon as I moved my mouse.
Oh, it's good, dude.
Hey, but this is fun. Like I've
Yo.
never been on a podcast before. You know, this is cool. I'd be down to do this again.
I would like to say also on that note, these podcasts are super unique. We have a great balance of fucking flavor for people here, dude. Each of us know different aspects of the game. I love these podcasts, Zoe. I think it's awesome you fucking hosted this shit, bro, and I think we should do them more often, dude.
I
I
wanna.
agree.
Honestly, I think the 4 that we have here, because I know usually I was sticking to a specific 3, and then the 4th would be new every time. Honestly, I think this 4 right here is a perfect balance, and I'm thinking about actually trying to do it every like 3 months or so, or like every big patch,
Agreed.
because
I'd be down.
down.
I haven't done one since like I forget my previous picture. It was like Morrowind or something, man. Like, are you serious? So yeah,
No one does this type of content.
we need it back, dude. We need the
100%.
podcast back. Oh look,
Yeah.
well,
There's
This
an
is lit,
interest.
man, dude.
Kirimoto.
It's very informative. I think that it's a balance between people who are advanced in PvP and also beginners can gain insightful information and useful information from this podcast, as well as fun and just it's informative, man. Very interesting.
Maybe you 3 are informative. I'm just kind of a guy throwing shit around, but you know.
I just
I don't know
kind
shit about math. I just know what works.
yeah, same here. Kiri is the
That's all I
200,000
Kiri's
IQ.
the
This
best.
man made a
You get
build
some-
video and he
Hey,
brought up a calculator on his screen, like showing.
everyone ask
something,
Kiri in the
like-
chat and put
The
5
only
head.
person I've seen take a fucking window and be like, this small amount of time right here, this window is your damage window of 2 seconds where you could do this X amount of damage. I'm like, bro, did you actually just calculate that, Kiri?
Yeah. High
It's
IQ,
smart,
dude.
bro.
High
It's
IQ.
I mean, dude, I would never do that.
I see. I'm like,
I have to
I'm-
restart my computer.
dude.
Go for it, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the 3 man then. You wanna hop out of here, man? I will raid you afterwards.
Set it up, Kiri. Good shit on the
Go
podcast.
restart. Do
Kiri.
everything. Thanks for showing up. Love you, Kiri. You guys don't know Kirimoto. Can get a shout out for KirimotoTV in the chat,
He's gonna be
guys.
going
Gotta know
live.
him.
He's
That is the
live.
#1 Stamplar PvPer in this fucking game, in my opinion. And we're gonna rate him afterwards. So yeah, just shout him out. Thank you, Royal. All right, Kiri. And he's
I think
still
he died.
he's still in here.
Awkward.
Yeah, where?
Awkward.
Hey, you weird ass.
Awkward. Kiri.
What was he using? His phone camera?
Raised in it.
He's still in
You know-
here. Look.
I could see Carrie's fucking haircut. Yo, nice haircut, Carrie.
Yo, leave my man
Yo, I got my
alone, bro.
haircut. I'm going fucking tanning, bro.
Shit, he's not like a real New Yorker
Laundry
now.
tan.
Where's that fucking accent all the time, Pale? What the fuck? I walk in here, we want a hot dog.
Want a hot dog? Yo, let me get,
Hot
let me
dog.
get some coffee.
And go down to Bob's.
From a 3 to 2 to 1 with a 6 on top.
I don't even know what that means, but fuck yeah, why not? Dude, I need to meet you
Oh,
boys
Nico, I might have
next
missed your
year
question. I'm
at
sorry about
TwitchCon,
that.
though. And I'm gonna fucking out drink every single one of you. Same.
Probably.
Yeah, we're gonna go fucking shot for shot, boys.
I'll outsmoke you.
Oh.
So.
I mean,
You
I
ready
don't
to
know.
arm wrestle? You better use
And
some
I'm
more.
training. I'm training.
Let's
Pale.
go, Pain.
If I beat you in an arm
TwitchCon
wrestle,
2021, brother.
I'll put
Yo,
100 subs.
Chad standoff.
If
at the
I
bar
lose an
at
arm
TwitchCon.
wrestle to fucking Pale Orc at TwitchCon next year, I will gift him 100 subs.
Cheers.
That's my word.
Damn. So we
I
also.
better get
know-
training.
I don't know how, but we lost Pale Orc's Discord display thingy.
No one. It's all
Kiri,
good.
Kiri's
the two-
stream.
Hey, the 2
What
cuties
happened?
are actually on the fucking channel. We don't need to see Pale.
Oh,
Oh,
He-
is he back? Oh, hey,
What?
hi, Pale.
What?
You're like right over there.
Oh.
Oh my god.
We're-
I'm with Pain right now.
where are
Right
you?
now.
I
We're on the
honestly
same
did.
screen, bro.
I'm with Pain. Put me back with Pain. That's fine.
Yeah,
Better than me
Let me
being
borrow
alone,
out
man.
my fucking
I'm
man
alone.
crush.
Oh wait, he
Let me
needs to.
borrow out my
Oh
man
wait.
crush.
Put me back
Alright,
with Pain
alright,
so
there
we
we
can
go.
make out.
Oh, there we go.
Bye.
There we go.
Oh,
That's gonna have to work. I'm
Wait, if I go
Kirimoto.
this-
I'm Kirimoto, guys. Look at my hair.
I'm on. Look, I can put my
Nice,
hands.
Kiri. You got you grow a beard.
Yeah, look how scuffed this is, bro.
Pain the axe has got a little.
Imagine following the
banner.
stuff streamer chat. Imagine following the scuffed stream.
It's all right. Well, there we go. Look,
if you're not
hey,
following
hey.
Lord Zell yet, then what the fuck's wrong with you? Start.
There we
do
go.
it.
Yeah.
Feel left out.
Hold on, bro. I got you, dude.
Dude, it's
I
fixed it,
got
bro.
you.
Put me next to Pain, bro. Me and Pain
Yeah.
are fucking.
Let me give Pale Orc a kiss.
We're kissing over here. We're doing a little makeout session. Double chads,
Whoa.
premium
Whoa,
chads
whoa,
only, dude.
whoa. Let me crop this real quick. So, chat, how are y'all doing? Hope y'all are enjoying the scuffed stream and my cam being cut off on my forehead. Why is Pain's picture fine? Oh,
Hello?
Live
I'm
into the DMs.
Because I'm beautiful, that's why.
okay.
At
And
least that's how I'm told. I don't know.
dude, when you turned off your cam, you messed up our organization. Now we got Pale Orc being pain.
I can't turn my cam on.
Now I'm
Siri
Lord
said he's
Zell.
good though. He's just.
Oh,
raging.
are you live?
I'm Lord Zell.
Yeah.
Pale is
Okay.
PainInTheAxe, and fucking Lord Zell is Kirimoto, and Kiri is Pale.
I would like to say, big shout out to the ESO community. Big shout out to Zelly for hosting this shit. PainInTheAxe and Kiri for making this awesome, dude. Making a this collaboration of information of these legends together in one chat and the PvP community, guys. God bless. Hope everybody has a
God
good
bless
weekend.
all of you.
God bless.
Fucking love all of you. You guys are fucking.
Hopefully we
Alright.
can do it again very, very soon.
If you guys
Yes.
aren't following PainInTheAxe, definitely give him a follow. I'm gonna give a shout out for the Pale Orc as well. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. If y'all don't know this man, this dude is a fucking, in my opinion, a fucking legend, especially after he hosted that badass GVG event, bro. That literally gave me butterflies when I saw it on live stream, bro. I was like, bro, this is the coolest shit ever, bro. All right, but yo, I appreciate man,
Yo,
hold on.
man, come on. Everybody.
I'm just making fun of you, bro. I'm making fun of you. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm the Pale Orc, guys. Check out my biceps, guys.
oh, sorry. Actually, I can do this properly.
Oh shit.
Oh man. All right. We're going to go ahead and mute it out. I will see you guys. Thank you guys for coming. It's been a pleasure having you guys on board, and we will see you all next time. Peace out, guys.
The ring of power
Have a good night.
forever.
We're rating Kiri. Give him some fucking love.
Waiting Kiri.
Drop a sub on Kiri.
No, drop your subs right now on Zelly.
Drop your subs on everybody.
Epic.